Valley of the End, dashing from the forest with all the speed he could muster, Naruto finally caught sight of his quarry, Sasuke Uchiha, perched atop one of the two colossal statues that loomed over the roaring falls. After chasing him for what felt like hours, Naruto halted on the opposing monument, separated from Sasuke by the thunderous cascade. He took a breath and called out. "Sasuke," Naruto shouted at the boy, who had thus far kept his back to him. Only now did Sasuke turn, revealing the ominous mark etched across his skin, one eye darkened under its influence. He stared at the blonde ninja with icy disdain. "So it's you, the hopeless fool," Sasuke said with a sneer. "She sent you, didn't she? Like I told Sakura, this is the end. Go back." His words weren't so much a request as a firm dismissal, assuming Sakura had turned to Naruto to bring him home. The last Uchiha already anticipated the entire exchange. Naruto would beg him to return, speak of bonds and friendship. But Sasuke's decision was already carved in stone. What he didn't foresee was Naruto laughing. At first a chuckle, then a full-bodied laugh that unnerved Sasuke. The sound was off. It didn't match the Naruto he remembered. Something in his posture, his voice, his energy, it was all different. When the laughter died down, Naruto locked eyes with him and spoke with a grin so twisted it made Sasuke's skin crawl. "You might think I'd want you back, Sasuke," Naruto began, shocking him with the venom in his words. "But the truth is, I'd be thrilled to be rid of you. Unfortunately, I still need something from you, and I've invested far too much to walk away empty-handed." "What the hell are you rambling about, idiot?" Sasuke barked, eyes narrowing in suspicion. "Is this some kind of joke?" Naruto chuckled again. "Oh no, Sasuke, I'm done with jokes," Naruto replied coldly. In a flash, he vanished, only to reappear in front of Sasuke and strike him with a devastating kick, smashing him into the stone statue and embedding him into its surface with a cry of pain. What the?" Sasuke groaned, struggling to gather himself as he looked up at Naruto calmly approaching. How did you this strength, it's like him." He shuddered at the comparison, thinking of Itachi, the only person who'd ever outclassed him so easily. "I'm nothing like your precious brother," Naruto said, tilting his head thoughtfully as Sasuke barely kept his footing. "Guess I underestimated your little power boost. Doesn't matter. You're still breathing and that's all I need. I don't know what you're trying to prove, but I'm done with you and your village," Sasuke hissed, readying himself. "I'm going to Orochimaru, you can't stop me." Naruto smirked in reply. "Feel free," he said, stunning Sasuke. "I don't care if you crawl to that snake, I just want something you possess. Give it up willingly and I won't have to hurt you more than I already have. Whatever it is, you'll have to rip it from me," Sasuke shouted and lunged. Naruto sidestepped and caught his arm effortlessly. "Gladly," Naruto muttered, then drove his fist into Sasuke's gut with a brutal uppercut that launched him skyward. Blood sprayed from Sasuke's mouth before Naruto appeared above and sent him crashing down with a fierce kick, the impact rattling the earth. "You know," Naruto said, walking toward him, "after constantly saving your sorry life, this feels good. More than I expected." He seized Sasuke by the hair, yanking his battered face to eye level. "Still conscious, Sasuke, don't fade just yet." How are you this strong?" Sasuke gasped. Is it the nine tails?" Naruto chuckled. "Oh no, Sasuke, this is me, my real strength. That fox inside, irrelevant," he said as he gripped Sasuke's throat, lifting him higher. "You have no idea how liberating it is to drop the act. But I'm on the clock, so let's get this over with. Yin art, soul extraction." Sasuke felt something leave him, an energy that wasn't painful but left him hollow, like Naruto had stolen an essential part of who he was. What did you do?" he rasped. Naruto released him and Sasuke collapsed. "Nothing vital," Naruto said. "Just the spirit of your ancestor, one that's caused enough chaos already. Just like mine did." Sasuke could barely move, beaten in every sense. "And now, yin-yang release, manifestation," Naruto declared, clapping his hands. Scarlet energy erupted around him, forming a cocoon of blazing chakra. Sasuke could barely breathe. It felt like standing next to a star. The pressure faded only once the energy pulled back into the cocoon. The cocoon flashed white, blindingly so. Sasuke blacked out. When he awoke, he saw a man tall, lean, and powerful. His figure was refined, his skin pale, his silver hair short and wild, framing a regal face. Golden eyes gleamed with an otherworldly glow. "So this is my true form, I must say I like it," the stranger said. The voice was new, yet unmistakably familiar. Sasuke's battered heart sank. "And Naruto," he croaked. The man turned and smiled. "Ah, Sasuke, forgot you were still here. Sorry for the spectacle, just a side effect," he said, picking up a satchel and retrieving a scroll. From it he pulled fresh clothes and quickly dressed, a sleek silver coat with red accents, matching shirt and black pants and boots. No mark of the leaf to be seen. "Good thing I came prepared," he said with a smirk. "Would have hated to steal someone else's wardrobe the moment I became me." What have you done?" Sasuke asked, barely managing to stand. His body trembled, unable to fight, yet his eyes locked onto Naruto. What have you turned into?" "I've finally broken free, Sasuke. Free from the village, from the bonds they tied around my life, from their leaders to their sheep, I'm unchained." Naruto spoke with a calm smile, stepping toward him and stopping just shy of striking range. "To echo your old words, my childish days of playing shinobi under their banner are behind me. Now, I walk my own path." Sasuke could barely comprehend what he was hearing, still stunned by what he had just witnessed. "This can't be real," Sasuke said, shaking his head. You can't just walk away from everything like that." Naruto blinked in slight surprise, as though Sasuke had just asked something naive. "And why not? Why is it you can leave and no one else can? Why must the rest of us swallow the village's lies and bow to those who only use us?" Naruto chuckled bitterly, before his face turned serious again. "If anyone has a valid reason to walk away, it's me. That place was nothing but a prison, torment, agony, and manipulation. I was treated like a tool, nothing more than a means to their ends. Sarutobi, the council, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi, they all viewed me as a piece in their game, something to use for their precious will of fire." His words dripped with contempt. How long?" Sasuke whispered. "Since when have you felt like this? How long have I hated them? Since the moment I realized the world around me saw me as a monster, since I could think for myself, I've despised that village." Naruto answered plainly. "If you're asking about this specific plan, it's been in motion for 8 years, since I was 5. That was the day they nearly beat me to death during one of their fox hunts. That was the day I met someone who opened my eyes to reality." "You mean the Nine Tails?" Sasuke asked, confused. Naruto shook his head. "Not even close. Alongside the Kyuubi's soul, the fourth also locked away another force within me, one who helped him and his wife escape that night, while they ran off with their other children." Naruto revealed, stunning Sasuke. "Oh, you didn't know? They're alive. Quite well, actually. Meanwhile, I was left behind as bait, a decoy. Inside me dwells a being not from our world, stripped of her power, her body, her freedom by those two cowards. When I nearly died, she came to me. We made a pact." "What are you saying? What kind of being?" Sasuke was clearly lost. "Call it a contract. She promised me power beyond imagining, and I swore to help her reclaim what she lost." Naruto explained. "She's not a mere spirit. Not a beast like the Kyuubi. She's older than this world, some would call her a demon. A creature from before the shinobi era, whose strength would make the tailed beasts look like pets. Her name is Gremory. Ask Orochimaru about her if you're curious. I'm sure he'd love to share stories." "And you're just letting me go, like that?" Sasuke asked, still baffled. Naruto nodded. "Like I said, do as you please. I've already taken what I needed from you." Naruto replied casually, then turned his gaze to a new direction. "Though, I think they might not be as understanding." Sasuke followed his eyes, and saw Kakashi and Jiraiya staring at Naruto in complete disbelief and dread. Naruto smirked. "So, enjoyed my little truth bomb? You knew they were listening?" Sasuke asked. "Why else would I talk so much? So you'd understand my motives." "Don't flatter yourself, Sasuke," Naruto said without even glancing back at him. "They were my audience. I've been waiting for this moment." Jiraiya and Kakashi landed in front of them, still trying to process what they'd heard. "Naruto, do you even understand what you've just done?" Jiraiya asked, horror etched on his face. "You've made a mistake you can't possibly undo. Do I understand that I shattered your big plan? That I spat in the face of your so-called destiny and every sacrifice your precious village made? Absolutely. That was my goal from the start, old man." Naruto grinned wickedly. "I'm not finished yet. I still have to pay a visit to the happy little family that abandoned me." His killing intent filled the air, making both shinobi tense. "Naruto, you don't understand. The fourth and Kushina, they're your family. Their children are your siblings. They had to make a difficult choice that night, but that thing inside you, it's using you," Jiraiya pleaded. "There's still time, come with us, we'll fix this. Oh, let me guess, erase my memories again. Brainwash me with the Yamanaka clan. Seal away my thoughts." Naruto asked coldly. Too late for that. Gremory shielded my mind. Otherwise, I'd still be your obedient little pawn, and you talk about being used. You did that to me long before she did. But there's still a way back, Kakashi insisted. Come home with us, with Sasuke. You really don't get it, do you, Kakashi? Naruto said. My decision was made long ago. And I've never once looked back. He turned to Sasuke. As for you, consider this a farewell gift. Give my regards to your new master. He placed his hand on Sasuke's shoulder, and in a flash, Sasuke vanished. What the hell did you do? Jiraiya shouted, stunned. Sent him where he wanted to go, straight to Orochimaru. Naruto said, as if it were nothing. After everything I've done to get here, I figured I could afford a generous gesture. Plus, anything that irritates you lot is a win in my book. Both Kakashi and Jiraiya tensed, ready for combat. Whatever you've become, this is your end, Naruto. Jiraiya growled. You may have beaten that boy, but you're not ready to take us on. Naruto chuckled lowly. Surrender now and maybe Lady Hawkeye will go easy on you, Kakashi warned. Don't force us to kill you. Naruto laughed at that. You should hope to survive this. Naruto told them calmly, then performed hand signs. But as much as I'd enjoy this, I have other matters to attend to, so here's a parting gift. Wood style. Verdant cataclysm. With a rumble, the ground split open as towering trees exploded from the earth. In moments, the entire valley was swallowed by forest. The statues of Madara and Hashirama crumbled, and the landscape was reshaped in mere seconds. The lake and waterfall vanished beneath titanic trunks, as nature surged in overwhelming force, reshaping the world around them. Such a scene had not been witnessed since the era of Hashirama Senju, with the surroundings now resembling more the forest of death. Deep within, Kakashi Hadake and Jiraiya were struggling desperately to break free from the crushing grip of entwining vines and branches that threatened to crush them. At the final moment, Jiraiya managed to execute a summoning jutsu, rescuing both himself and Kakashi as they appeared atop Gamabunta, the revered chief of the Toad clan. Jiraiya, where on earth have you dragged me? I can barely move in this mess. What kind of hellish place is this? Gamabunta demanded. Bunta, there's no time to waste on explanations. You need to take us to MT. Miyaboku and send word to Minato and Tsunade, Jiraiya urged urgently. Naruto, he's gone rogue. That brat who couldn't even summon me without the fox's help. What threat could he possibly pose? Gamabunta questioned skeptically. He's just a distraction. The true power lies within Minato's children, and the kid has hardly any training, so… Bunta, this forest was created by Naruto. I don't know how, but that kid somehow gained this power. And worse, he's been fooling us all these years, Jiraiya said gravely. He's aware of everything and has even made contact with Gremory. The mention of that name made Gamabunta visibly tremble. Gremory, how could he, you fool? Pa warned you never to meddle with demons, especially one like her. And you betrayed her, using her as a power source for those seals before locking her inside Naruto. Gamabunta roared in anger. What did you expect? That stripping her power would keep you safe. Just trust me and do as I say. If we don't move quickly, who knows what that boy will unleash, Jiraiya pressed, a deep sense of dread settling over him. Namikaze Estate. Some time later. Situated just outside the fire capital, the Namikaze clan's residence wasn't the grandest or most sprawling among the fire capital's noble homes, but compared to other clan houses in Konoha, it was decidedly more elegant and spacious both in grounds and structure. This was thanks to the Namikaze clan's long-standing service directly to the fire daimyo, elevating them from a wandering ninja family to recognized nobility of the land of fire, while still preserving their shinobi traditions. Though they answered directly to the daimyo instead of the Hokage, this granted the clan considerable autonomy. Yet, the clan leadership preferred to maintain at least formal relations with Konoha, often sending members to train and study as regular shinobi. The most recent was Minato Namikaze himself, the esteemed fourth Hokage. Born as a son of the Namikaze branch family, Minato rose above his birth status, earning a place within the main family, allowing him to shield his daughters from being born into the servile branch line. Like the Hyuga clan in Konoha, the Namikaze were split into main and branch families, the former rulers, the latter servants. This division stemmed from an ancient civil war within the clan centuries ago. The victors established dominance over the losers, whose descendants remained bound to servitude, with only a rare few permitted to join the main family. Centuries of mistreatment, power struggles, and ambitions had long fractured what was once a powerful clan. All it took now was a single spark to ignite catastrophe. That spark was approaching the compound's gates, Naruto Uzumaki in his transformed state, eyeing the 5 Namikaze guards stationed there. Upon reaching the gate, the guards and their leader ready to strike, with the leader stepping forward and addressing Naruto with haughty disdain. "Stop right there, outsider. You trespass on Namikaze soil and dare approach our home," the man sneered, hand resting on his blade. "Leave now or taste steel." "Unfortunately, I won't be turning back. I have matters to settle with some of your clan beyond this point," Naruto replied calmly, as the guards gripped their weapons. "Since you won't grant me peaceful passage, I'll ask. Are all of you from the branch family, or do any of you belong to the main line?" The leader regarded him with puzzled suspicion. "What does it matter to you, outsider?" he scoffed. "But I'll humor you. I am Kenta Namikaze, keeper of the gates and proud member of the main family, commanding these branch family serfs. And I'll personally end your life," he declared proudly. Naruto smiled in response. "That's all I needed to know." "Thank you," Naruto said. And with that, Kenta Namikaze's body was hurled through the thick gates, crashing to the ground mangled and broken. Naruto stepped calmly into the compound as the remaining guards were frozen in place by genjutsu. No sooner had the dust settled than he found himself facing what appeared to be the entire Namikaze fighting force. Armed and prepared, they stood ready to annihilate Naruto, when a man barely younger than the later third Hokage, bearing a resemblance to Minato Namikaze, stepped forward and addressed him. "You must have a death wish to intrude on our sanctuary like this," the man said with clear contempt. "Not even during the great Shinobi Wars was our clan so brazenly invaded, for all knew what awaited. Whatever you seek here, you won't find it except your fate, mongrel." "You're partly right," Naruto replied nonchalantly, causing the Namikaze leader to frown. "So, Minato and Kushina are absent for some reason, but their twins remain inside, disappointing, but I was after them all along. I'll take them now." The main family drew weapons, the head of the Namikaze brandishing the clan's heirloom sword. "Foolish arrogance. If you think you can simply walk past us, you're madder than I thought," the man shouted. "I am Yorinobu Namikaze, golden lion of the clan, undefeated in 100 battles. What makes you think?" His tirade ended abruptly as a crimson segmented chain, like a slender barbed tail tipped with a spearhead, pierced his heart and exited through his back. With a graceful motion, Naruto drove his adamantine chain through the fallen head of the Namikaze clan, and then swung it toward the main family members, severing and decapitating a dozen before anyone could react. As the others began to move, Naruto smiled and extended the chain, sending it flying at blinding speed, impaling and stringing along everyone he desired. Before any could close the distance, Naruto's single chain had pierced and suspended over 30 Namikaze members in midair, their hearts impaled and linked by the chain. Dispelling the chain and letting the bodies drop, Naruto turned to the survivors and spoke. "Well then, does this satisfy the terms of our deal from my side, Haruto?" Naruto suddenly inquired, prompting a prompt reply from the man. "It does, now it's our turn." With that, Haruto Namikaze, younger sibling of Minato Namikaze and the unofficial head of the branch family, thrust his kunai into the nearest member of the main family, shocking the rest. "Now, Namikaze, the time has arrived. Let us bring an end to this oppression once and for all." Thus, the branch family fully committed themselves to the fight, mercilessly slaughtering the unready and startled main family members, while Naruto watched with a grin. Once the carnage concluded, he addressed Haruto. "I see you weren't bluffing when you said your faction was thirsty for blood," Naruto remarked, observing the aftermath as Haruto turned to him. "No remorse for what you've done. For centuries, these bastards have enslaved our mothers, daughters, and sisters as playthings, trading them to each other or to the highest bidder, while men suffered as peasants under their control, and the main family took all the spoils." Haruto answered. Minato was supposed to change that as he vowed, yet instead chose to become one of the oppressors. So no regrets at all. "Unlike him, you kept your promise, Naruto," Haruto said with a smirk, causing Naruto to chuckle. "After all the lies and deception I've had to employ, keeping my word has always been a small solace," Naruto said, shifting to a more serious tone. "Now then, I assume the twins were evacuated the moment this attack began, since I no longer detect them here. Am I correct? Nothing slips past you. Yes, the instant you appeared on our sensors, Yorinobu had the twins moved to a safe location offsite. Haruto replied. Only Minato, Kushina, and their trusted main line are aware of the place, so I couldn't honor that part of the deal. Not a problem. I've already factored it in and have it under control. Just a little longer and this will all be over. Naruto reassured him, then turned toward the entrance. Meanwhile, I'll amuse myself with these two, Naruto declared with a grin, as he, Haruto, and the rest of the Namikaze clan saw Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki arrive, watching the devastation, clearly ready to fight. So Jirya wasn't lying. Of all people, you were the last I expected to commit such atrocities, Naruto. Minato stated, anger blazing in his eyes, while Naruto only smirked. You've not only betrayed the Leaf, your comrades and friends, but attacked our clan like this. My own son has sunk below all decency, Minato said, drawing his signature kunai. As if you and Kushina are saints, and if you truly didn't expect me to turn rogue after everything Leaf put me through, you're either naive or too arrogant, Minato. Naruto responded, reading the disbelief in their eyes. Besides, I stopped being your son long ago, so don't bother walking down that road. The only bond we share is that you've ruined my life since the moment I was born, and I'm here to collect on the debt you owe. And what is it you want, Naruto? Revenge is a path with no end, only loneliness and pain. Kushina said, give up now, son. Even with wood style and my chains, you are outmatched. Against the combined might of the Namikaze clan and the two of us, not even Madara Uchiha would win here today. I think you're overestimating your power. Don't you, Haruto? Naruto turned to Haruto, who gave a nod, shocking both Minato and Kushina. Look closely, both of you, and see that all those who could have helped you are dead, and those left are eager to see you fall. The remaining Namikaze were ready to back Naruto's words with their blades. No, this can't be, Haruto, how could you betray our family like this? Minato asked, incredulous while Haruto scoffed. You helped Naruto plan this, you and the others would kill our own blood. For what? What did Naruto promise you? Wealth, power, forbidden jutsu? Only what you promised me and our mother long ago, right before you left for your precious village. Freedom from the main family. Haruto replied, gesturing to the brutal scene. Unlike you and your harlot, who happily became leeches, he fulfilled that promise completely. Who do you call a harlot, you bastard? Kushina shouted, her hair erupting into the dreaded 9 tails. I'll bury you and your wretched wife and children alive with my own hands. She then unleashed her golden chains at Haruto, only for a single chain from Naruto to shatter them, stunning Kushina and Minato, as Naruto appeared completely unbothered. I'm afraid you won't get your wish today, Kushina, your fight is with me alone, Naruto said with a cruel smile. Haruto, I suggest you withdraw. This place is about to get very unpleasant. Hope you don't mind some collateral damage. Not at all. Do as you will, Naruto. Haruto said, signaling the Namikaze to evacuate, and they quickly fled, leaving the compound deserted except for Naruto and his former parents within a 5-mile radius. Tell me, Naruto, what exactly do you hope to achieve today? Minato asked, trying to understand Naruto's true intent. Do you believe that killing us will bring you meaning? You've already betrayed the Leaf, aided an enemy of the village, attacked your mentor and one of the Sannin. By all accounts, you've become a traitor comparable to Itachi Uchiha. Do you think the Leaf and other villages will simply let this pass? Oh no, I'm not here to kill either of you, Minato, Naruto answered. Since you and Kushina are so curious, I'll tell you exactly why I came. I'm after the same thing the masked man sought all those years ago. Naruto smirked as Minato, and Kushina's eyes widened in recognition. You want the 9 tails power. Kushina said, her hand going to her katana. You intend to unleash the beast and let it destroy Konoha. Is this what that fiend used you for? Naruto, if you separate the beast from its Jinchuriki, then the host will die, unless they are as resilient as Uzumaki. I know that well, Naruto finished for her. As tempting as that is, it's not my plan. While the remnant of the Kyuubi inside me was useful, I need its full power for what's next, which is why I'm here. Then you're wasting your time, Naruto. If you're as knowledgeable as you think, you should already know your sisters aren't here. Minato said. They're halfway back to Konoha by now, while you're still here with us. With that, Minato threw his kunai at Naruto, then charged full speed. Naruto responded by rushing Minato with equal speed, kunai flying toward him. Minato dodged by a slight head movement, just as both powered up their Rasengans. The moment Naruto launched his, The yellow flash vanished from sight and reappeared above and behind Naruto, catching his kunai just like 13 years ago. Then, repeating his action from that fateful night, he drove his fully charged Rasengan into Naruto's back, crushing him with the full force of the forbidden jutsu, seemingly destroying him. Once the dust and smoke had cleared, all that was left was a crater, and Minato lying at the bottom, staring at the mangled body of Naruto. He and Kushina thought they heard slow applause. Turning their heads, their eyes widened in disbelief as they saw Naruto standing no more than 5 meters away, clapping with a grin, completely unharmed. Meanwhile, the figure lying at the crater's base began to dissolve into soil. It was a clone of some sort. So, this is the infamous flying Raijin technique combined with the Rasengan. Quite impressive, Naruto said, clapping once more. I can see how someone caught off guard wouldn't stand a chance. But I had 8 years to prepare, and Gremory was more than willing to give me the missing pieces. That's impossible. That couldn't have been a clone, it was too strong, Kushina said, shocked, as her sensory skills kicked back in. Jiraiya told us Naruto had no clue how to properly divide chakra among clones, so he couldn't have made a decoy. Naruto just laughed at her disbelief. I think it's safe to say everything you believed about me is up for serious reconsideration. As for the clones, I've had plenty of time to perfect every detail, well before I ever stole that scroll, Naruto told them. Then suddenly, 20 more clones appeared, surrounding Minato, Kushina, and the entire compound. Simply increasing your numbers won't change the outcome, Naruto, Minato said, preparing his kunai. No matter what you do, you won't claim victory here today. Naruto laughed again. Oh Minato, if only you knew, Naruto smirked, then all the clones formed a hand seal. But you'll likely find out soon enough. Minato and Kushina immediately understood the sign's meaning, and the yellow flash dashed toward Kushina at full speed. In the next moment, the entire Namikaze compound was transformed into a hellscape. The clones exploded with enough force to flatten every tree within 3 miles and vaporize everything within 1 mile, turning the grounds, buildings, and forest into a burning wasteland where not even microbes could survive. Next moment, a faint teleportation sound echoed through the safe house as Minato and Kushina reappeared in the outside world. The fourth Hokage had managed to reach Kushina in time and teleport them both away from the blast. The location was obvious to both. This was the secret hideout where their daughters were to be sheltered in case of an attack, known only to a few, or so they thought. Without warning, and without any sensory detection, both Minato and Kushina suddenly found themselves pinned against the wall. Crimson-scaled chains pierced their shoulders, disabling their right arms. Overcoming the sharp pain, they turned to see Naruto grinning at them. Their daughters, Mito and Narumi, lay motionless on the floor, surrounded by dead guards. Realizing the situation, both Minato and Kushina tried to break free, but found themselves utterly trapped. The chains held them fast, and their chakra refused to respond. You certainly took your time getting here, Naruto said with a smile, then glanced at the girls. Too bad you missed the whole reunion drama, but to summarize, they were shocked and surprised to see me, but refused my request. So I had to persuade them, Naruto added with a smirk. And Naruto, how could you? Why, you killed your own sisters, Minato gasped through the pain, struggling against the chains. The girls are alive, though a bit lighter on chakra so to speak, Naruto replied, watching them struggle. If I were you, I wouldn't waste effort trying to escape. Unlike Kushina's chains, mine are far more potent with additional effects, like completely nullifying chakra flow. In other words, you're powerless and entirely at my mercy, just as I was at yours all those years ago, Naruto reminded them, clearly taking pleasure in reversing their roles. What are you planning now? Kushina snarled. Will you be a complete monster and kill us? At that moment, Naruto's chains tightened, and both Minato and Kushina screamed in agony as a surge of chakra pulsed through their bodies, setting their nerves and chakra pathways aflame. That's a tempting idea, and one Gremory agrees with, Naruto admitted, seemingly ready to finish them off, before suddenly ceasing the pain, allowing them to catch their breath. But I'll hold off for now. It wouldn't be fair to grant you a quick death. No, you don't get to die until I say so. For now, I'll just collect a down payment. With that, Naruto's chains snapped again with lightning speed. Both Minato and Kushina collapsed, each missing their right arm, wincing in agony. And Naruto, whatever you're planning, W will stop you, Minato vowed, despite the pain. Naruto smiled cruelly at him. You and Gremory won't get away with this, Konoha. We will find you and stop you, Minato promised. Naruto knelt before him and said directly, "Feel free to try, Minato." Rising, he looked down at them both. Jiraiya and Kakashi are on their way. Try not to bleed out before they arrive, it would ruin my mood. Until next time. With that, Naruto vanished from the hideout, leaving the Hokage's family broken and bleeding. 3 days later. Konoha's hospital. Though 3 days had passed since one of the greatest disasters in Leaf Village's history, Konoha's leaders and planners were only beginning to grasp the true scale of Naruto's havoc. The former blonde, once a reckless prankster, had pulled the ultimate trick on them all, convincing everyone he was just a stubborn, foolish kid, easily manipulated. If a shinobi's greatest skill is deception, Naruto had set a new standard, fooling all of Konoha, from the citizens to the Hokage and council, and had now done what hadn't been done since Madara's era. To say Konoha's position was precarious was an understatement. They had lost their greatest advantage, the strongest tailed beast. Making things worse, Naruto had crippled both Minato and Kushina, severing their right arms, news spreading quickly. Thankfully, the fact that Kyuubi was no longer under their control remained a secret for now. No one knew where Naruto had gone, what his plans were, or what he intended to do with the beast. To piece it together, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Kushina, Minato, and Kakashi gathered in the hospital room where Minato and Kushina were recovering. Minato spoke first, addressing Jiraiya and Tsunade. "Have you found any sign of Naruto?" he asked directly. Both shook their heads. "No progress on this front. He just disappeared completely, leaving no trace behind, and we have neither any leads nor even a whisper about where he might be." Tsunade responded. "The ANBU sent to the Land of Waves came back empty-handed, as did those dispatched to the Land of Waterfalls, Land of Winds, or any other likely places. Clearly, the kid anticipated where we'd search and left no clue as to his whereabouts." "He's not much of a kid anymore," Jiraiya said with a weary sigh. "I attempted to reverse summon him to MT, Mayaboku, but it seems he somehow nullified his contract with the Toads. I examined the scroll, and where his name used to be, there was nothing but a blank space. When I showed it to Ma and Pa, they were just as stunned as I was. It's never happened before. They said it's practically impossible for someone to just erase their bond like it never existed. Normally, maybe, but with Gremory involved, it's quite possible she found a way to sever a summoning contract, despite her current weakness." Kushina spoke bitterly before sighing in defeat. "Mito always said her knowledge surpassed all of Konoha's scrolls and secrets combined, and I'm starting to believe she was right." "Pardon me for asking, but why exactly was such a dangerous being sealed inside Naruto?" Kakashi questioned. "Sensei, was there truly no alternative?" "Unfortunately, none." Minato exhaled deeply. "That night, while Kushina summoned Gremory through their pact, I called upon the Shinigami and we struck a bargain. Gremory's life in exchange for help sealing the Kyuubi." He agreed, so the Kyuubi was divided among 3, with Naruto receiving the soul, but Gremory's soul was still a concern. Like tailed beasts, demons can return after a time, even if physically destroyed, so the Shinigami was sealed within Naruto. We believed the seal would prevent Naruto from contacting Gremory again, but it appears we underestimated her. Naruto did mention he had been planning this since he turned 5. Now I recall, on his 5th birthday, the villagers caught him and beat him nearly to death. Kakashi reflected. The ANBU's response was slow, and they almost finished him off then. He spent over 2 months in the hospital before waking. Could that incident have triggered his connection with Gremory? That seems likely, Minato agreed, pondering what he'd heard. Maybe that trauma weakened the seals, or Gremory found a loophole to reach Naruto. Either way, it's clear Naruto wouldn't be who he is now without her help. Maybe, but that kid sure played the fool well, Jiraiya added. He kept every one of us fooled all along, acting dumb until he was ready to make his move, but that raises a question. Why act now? If he'd planned this for so long, why wait and pretend? And what about that sudden transformation? Was that his true form or something else? No, it was something entirely different, Lord Jiraiya, I'm sure, Kakashi said. The fact that Naruto only showed it after reaching Sasuke, and that massive chakra explosion just before, it's safe to assume Naruto only achieved it after joining Sasuke. Maybe he used Sasuke's chakra to reach that form. With the sheer power Naruto gained, I doubt the Uchiha could have provided enough. No, we're clearly missing something. Jiraiya noted, then paused. He also used wood style, but no living person could have taught him that. Deep forest emergence was Lord First's signature move. How would Naruto have known the signs? The only source is the Forbidden Scroll of Seals, but only the Hokage can access that. At least until that brat stole it and replaced it with a fake. Tsunade revealed, shocking everyone. When I heard about the wood style, I checked the scroll and found it was a complete dud. The kid had sealed it with a special genjutsu that made anyone viewing it see exactly what they expected. The night he stole the real scroll, he swapped it with the fake, and nobody suspected a thing. Wait, does that mean the real Forbidden Scroll is missing? Minato asked, with Tsunade shaking her head. No, we had it briefly before it was destroyed. Tsunade told them. Naruto left the scroll in his apartment where the ANBU found it, but the moment they opened it, the scroll burst into flames and turned to ash. He clearly left it as a message that he no longer needed it but wouldn't let us have it either. This keeps getting worse, Jiraiya groaned. I wonder when and how he had time to learn from it. He was under constant watch and had barely any chance to act on his own. Shadow clones, Kushina said, capturing everyone's attention. Naruto himself said he mastered the shadow clone jutsu long before stealing the scroll, even as a child. He had enough chakra to create clones, letting him be in multiple places at once without raising suspicion. If he mastered clones, it's natural he learned transformation first. The kid did have a knack for it, I'll admit, Jiraiya said. So he had the clones do all the studying, training, and whatever else, even collaborating with Haruto and his rebels. Speaking of which, what's the plan for them? Jiraiya asked Tsunade, who sighed deeply. I intended to send a squad after them, but then the fire daimyo sent word he had handled it himself, deciding what happened was to his advantage. Apparently, Haruto showed proof to the daimyo that Yorinobu and the main family secretly supported his enemies, planning a coup. So Haruto and his branch family took action. Tsunade sighed. In short, Haruto and his Namikaze are now considered heroes protecting the land of fire. As for Minato and Kushina, since the daimyo doesn't know you're alive, he's suspicious of you. Any move against the Namikaze now would be admitting we're conspiring against the daimyo. Meaning Haruto now leads Clan Namikaze, and Naruto has a powerful ally in him. He and Gremory planned this perfectly. Minato admitted bitterly. And the worst part is, he didn't even have to fabricate evidence about the coup. You mean there's proof implicating you in this? Tsunade asked Minato, who nodded. Then why didn't he expose it to the daimyo immediately? Probably because Naruto didn't want that, Minato guessed. Still, with all his scheming and plotting, he had to find a way to train himself. He couldn't have done it alone, and even with Gremory's help, there's a limit to what he could do physically. He must have had a teacher and a method to train without raising suspicion. Those chains, Kushina muttered. What about them, Kushina? Minato asked. Naruto's chains, each chain is unique and said to represent an individual Uzumaki's soul and will. Naruto's are his own, yet I think I once saw something like them. Kushina spoke. Back in Uzumaki, there were legends of a warrior queen who transcended mortality and ruled her own realm. Her signature weapon was a barbed crimson spear. It said she trained apprentices, and those who survived became unparalleled fighters. You don't actually believe Naruto became one of her apprentices, do you, Kushina? Tsunade questioned. Given everything he's done, it's a possibility, Kushina said, but what worries me most is Naruto's true plan. He has the full Kyuubi, and with his new power, he's more than capable of launching an attack, yet he vanished without a trace. It's quite possible his plan doesn't involve attacking Konoha just yet, Kakashi added thoughtfully. Maybe he's following a strategy like the Akatsukis. Could be, no, wait. Kushina's face drained of color as a sudden realization hit her. Oh, of course, how did we miss it all this time? It was right in front of us. Kushina, what are you saying? Minato asked, puzzled. Naruto, he's intending to bring back Gremory, Kushina revealed to everyone. That's why he needed the Kyuubi's power. Meanwhile, on the Isle of Uzu. The Isle of Uzu once thrived as the homeland of the formidable Uzumaki clan, famed for being the birthplace of sealing techniques, and home to some of the strongest warriors across the elemental nations. What was once a magnificent land is now little more than ruins and a desolate graveyard, haunted by the memories of the Uzumaki, who fell to the combined forces of 4 shinobi villages, a single clan standing against nearly all shinobi forces in the world. Naruto let out a slight chuckle, not from cruelty, but from pride in carrying such a legendary name. There were few things Naruto openly took pride in, but his clan's legacy was one of them, the one true thing he considered his own. Now, standing where it all began, he prepared to accomplish something only a true Uzumaki could. Though over 8 years had passed, Naruto always envisioned that the final act of his plan would be set here, somewhere he'd longed to visit, where he was certain Konoha would never intervene. After all, the island held no valuable secrets or jutsu to loot, no Uzumaki left to exploit. It had been abandoned and forgotten, making it the perfect place for Naruto to secretly establish his base. Using his clones, he covertly created an operational hub equipped with everything he'd need to function independently. Setting it up unnoticed was a challenge, but acquiring Gato's shipping empire back in Wave, without attracting attention, accelerated the process immensely. If only Konoha, Tsunade, or anyone else knew that Naruto was not only far smarter than they thought, but also had built a vast fortune behind the scenes, engaging in trade and businesses without ever revealing his true identity. Thanks to Gremory's guidance, he managed to run multiple enterprises across the world under various aliases, funding his ambitions. By the time graduation came, Naruto's wealth surpassed that of many of Konoha's most influential clans combined, though he could not flaunt it yet. His disguise had to remain intact until he acquired what he truly desired from Konoha, or rather from Sasuke, the soul of Indra Utsutsuki. Thanks to Gremory, he knew of Indra and Ashura, their ancient conflict, and the cycle of reincarnation. She showed him how to sever Ashura's soul from his own and gradually, over years of precise energetic manipulation, transfer Ashura's abilities and knowledge from his soul into Naruto's. This began when he made a pact with Gremory and was completed just before graduation. By then, he already knew who Indra's next vessel was and prepared to act, but he chose to wait, gaining more power and preparing for his eventual freedom. He also waited for the perfect moment to isolate Sasuke away from Watchers. During this time, Naruto delved into the Forbidden Scroll, mastering secrets ranging from wood style to reanimation jutsu and beyond. Fate smiled when Sasuke fled to Orochimaru, presenting Naruto the perfect opportunity to capture Indra's soul. With it secured, he achieved one of his primary goals, the assimilation of both Ashura's and Indra's powers. His body, already enhanced by Ashura's strength, allowed him to absorb Indra's power all at once. Thus, he was reborn, free from Konoha and his past, a completely new entity. Now, with all the pieces in place, Naruto raised his hands and performed the forbidden technique. Forbidden summoning, Reaper, he intoned, and a portal tore open beneath him, drawing forth the Shinigami himself, who gazed down on Naruto. "You summon me, Naruto Uzumaki. What is your request?" The Shinigami's voice echoed with the weight of death. "Lord Shinigami, I seek a bargain," Naruto said, piquing the Shinigami's curiosity. "I desire the body of the entity known as Gremory, and the return of one called Bargus to this world." The Shinigami was taken aback. "The Demon Duchess and the Black Hound of Destruction, these I claimed through summoning. What do you offer in exchange?" he questioned. "I offer the souls of Indra and Ashura, beings who have long evaded your grasp and defied death," Naruto replied. The Shinigami's interest deepened. "Additionally, I possess the Kyuubi's power and am willing to part with its soul for a further favor." "And what boon would you ask? He who holds the powers of the brothers and the mightiest-tailed beast?" Shinigami inquired. "Their strength means little to me, but souls I collect. Speak." "I request immunity from your reach, Shinigami. If anyone attempts to summon you or use you against me, refuse to take my soul until my destined time." Naruto's words gave the Shinigami pause. "An unusual request, but I grant it to you, Naruto Uzumaki." The Shinigami extended his ethereal hand, extracting the promised souls from Naruto, leaving him with the full might of the Kyuubi and the brothers' integrated powers. "You have fulfilled your part. I now fulfill mine." From the Shinigami emerged the lifeless form of a massive black beast with horns and the body of a stunning red-haired woman, beauty surpassing all Naruto had ever seen. "Our contract is complete, Lord Shinigami. I thank you," Naruto bowed respectfully as the god of death departed, leaving Naruto poised to finish his work. Now, the final move. Yin-yang style. Reincarnation. He unleashed the combined yin and yang power of the Kyuubi to revive two immensely powerful beings, their souls flowing from him into their awaiting bodies. The isle trembled under the energy Naruto unleashed, performing a feat beyond even the Sage of Six Paths. This was why the Kyubai's powers were essential, to resurrect these two beings of nearly equal, if not greater, power. The earth shook again as the black beast of destruction awakened, its missing horn restored, letting out a fierce howl before transforming. Soon, where the beast stood, a woman of divine beauty appeared, mighty in power and physique, with flowing pale golden hair and mismatched red and turquoise eyes. The second opened her turquoise eyes and gazed at her hands, reclaiming what was once lost. As the ritual concluded, Barghest was the first to speak. I truly live once more, she whispered in awe, gazing at herself before turning to behold Gremory in all her splendor and unveiled magnificence. You have succeeded, my lady. Truly, only one of your caliber could ever accomplish such a marvel. Gremory let out a soft chuckle, shifting her eyes towards the one who had restored them to life. You flatter me too much, Barghest. The one worthy of all praise is our beloved shared between us, Gremory said with a sultry voice. You've done it, my love. With that, she moved forward and claimed the lips of the man she had nurtured, the one who had captured her heart. Soon after, Barghest stepped closer and mirrored Gremory's actions, nearly devouring her chosen husband and beloved, finally able to fully embrace and hold him as befitted someone with her passion. As Naruto basked in the presence of his new wives, an eerie and untouchable atmosphere surrounded the world, carrying with it a promise of monumental change, one born from a once forgotten, shattered name bearing powers long believed lost. Naruto's inner realm. Naruto's age, 5 years. The last thing Naruto recalled before waking was how a furious mob had chased him down, and then they tore him apart, employing every cruel method to inflict pain. He'd endured beatings before and was no stranger to suffering, but today was different. Because the people of Konoha sought his blood specifically, and Naruto truly believed their wish had been fulfilled this time. At this moment, he wasn't even sure if he was alive or dead, or if he was even still in Konoha. He found himself lying on the ground beneath blood-red skies. When he finally rose and surveyed his surroundings, he saw a nightmarish, twisted, and corrupted version of Konoha all around him. It was enough to haunt anyone's dreams, but for Naruto, strangely, this scene felt oddly familiar, like this was how he truly perceived Konoha and the world itself through his own reality. But where am I? Naruto asked. Where is everyone? And what is this place? Was I kidnapped or something? No, dear one, you were not taken. This place is a spiritual projection of your inner world, shaped by your senses, feelings, and experiences. A voice answered, and from the thick mist before him emerged a stunning red-haired woman clad in elegant garments that highlighted her beauty. To put it simply, think of this place as somewhere inside your mind, where you currently reside. Noticing his confused expression, she realized Naruto barely understood. Okay, Naruto replied uncertainly. So, if I'm inside my own mind, then, are you Kyuubi? Did you bring me here? Curious, he asked, recalling how villagers had told him he carried the nine-tailed fox inside him. The woman only chuckled softly before responding. No, I am not the nine-tailed fox demon those ignorant fools believe you to be. My name is Gremory, Naruto, and unlike the pitiful illusion they mistake for a demon, I am a true demon. Gremory declared with pride in her nature, while Naruto regarded her with surprise, but not fear. Interesting, most react much more openly when they realize what I truly am. What do you mean by that? Naruto inquired, prompting Gremory to pause and consider her words. My apologies. I momentarily forgot you are but a child. What I meant is that most respond with fear and terror, not mere surprise. Gremory explained, and Naruto nodded in understanding. All right, I get it. I guess I'm just different from others, Naruto said with a sad tone, and Gremory gently placed her hand on his cheek, speaking with kindness. Each person is unique in their own way, and that's nothing to be ashamed of, Naruto. Take pride in who you are, for no one else will ever be you. Gremory offered wisdom that comforted him. Now, to answer your earlier question, yes, I brought you here. As for how and why, the ones who attacked you did far worse than anyone before. Your body was physically destroyed, but I managed to pull your spirit here to preserve your life. Naruto stepped back, absorbing her words. They killed me, he breathed in, trying to steady himself but failing as reality settled in. All I ever wanted was to be loved, to matter, and I didn't want to hurt any of them. As Naruto trembled, nearly convulsing, Gremory quickly came to his side, kneeling and cradling his face in her hands. Naruto, please, look into my eyes. Focus only on them and my voice. Her soothing tone calmed him. You did nothing wrong to those people. You did not kill or harm anyone, and you are not the Kyuubi. You are an innocent, pure child wronged by selfish and cruel people. What has happened to you is injustice no one should endure, but you do not deserve it, Naruto. Now breathe in and out, in and out, in and out. Slowly, Naruto calmed, and Gremory gently released him, taking his hand and guiding him to the nearest bench where they sat. Thank you, no one's ever said that to me before, Naruto admitted, looking up at her. Are you sure you're really a demon? Gremory laughed softly. Well, it's more accurate to say I'm a being of extraordinary nature beyond common understanding, but for simplicity's sake, most call me and my kind demons. She explained thoughtfully. Though I am a demon, many like me are not inherently evil, just as you are not evil despite what those fools claim. I know my kind has a poor reputation, but by normal human morality, I am not what you'd call an evil entity. Then, why are you here? Naruto asked. Why are you inside me? Gremory's expression grew serious, knowing the difficult truth lay ahead. I was sealed inside you less than an hour after you were born, Naruto, alongside the Kyuubi's soul by your very parents. Gremory revealed, and Naruto's eyes widened. And yes, before you ask, I know who they are and I will tell you everything you deserve to know. But first, Naruto, I need your solemn promise to hear my entire story without interruption or disagreement until I'm finished. I ask this not for myself but for your own good. I promise to listen, Gremory. Naruto agreed, and she sighed before beginning her tale. True to her word, Gremory shared all she believed Naruto had the right to know, starting with how she was once the contracted familiar of Mito Uzumaki, the first host of the Kyuubi, before being passed to Kushina Uzumaki, Naruto's mother. She revealed the true nature of the tailed beasts, the circumstances surrounding his birth, his sisters Natsumi and Narumi, and the attack on the night they were born. She told him about his father, Minato Namikaze, and how he fought off the masked assailant and the Kyuubi before the final confrontation with the beast itself. After your father transported you, Kushina, and the girls to the clearing, Kushina summoned me through our pact and commanded me to aid Minato in halting the Kyuubi. Though I must admit I despised her from the very first moment we met, I followed her orders due to the terms of our contract and unleashed my power against the Kyuubi, Gremory explained. While I was occupied, your father called forth the Shinigami into this world and then made a bargain with him to separate the Kyuubi's power from its essence, sealing half within his daughters, while the soul itself would be placed inside you. The cost was me, my strength, and my life. I was used as the price, and my weakened soul was forcibly sealed inside you against my will, Naruto. Since then, I have dwelled within you, trapped in this corner of your inner world, unable to communicate with anyone, yet aware of everything occurring with and around you. Afterward, your parents, together with Jiraiya, Tsunade, the third Hokage, and members of the Shinobi Council, devised a plan for your parents to take the girls to the Namikaze clan and train them to master the Kyuubi's powers while you would remain in Konoha as a mere nominal Jinchuriki, serving as bait for Konoha's foes and allies alike. I regret to tell you this, Naruto, but Kushina and Minato, they sacrificed you for the village, Gremory concluded, leaving Naruto to take a long moment to absorb it all before finally speaking. They're alive, and yet, they abandoned me, Naruto asked, and Gremory nodded. Why? Why would they do that? Were they truly that afraid of the masked man? Partly, yes, but the main reason, at least in their eyes, was that as shinobi, Konoha, and the will of fire come before even natural parental instincts and duties, Gremory replied. They likely believed their actions were for Konoha's greater good, but honestly, I suspect their motives were selfish. They placed their ambitions, ideals, and hopes above you, Naruto, and so they left you behind. I don't know if they care for you now, but if they did care, they wouldn't have done what they did, Naruto finished grimly, and Gremory agreed. So they left me here and everyone blames me for everything that happened. Old Man Hokage, the council. They know the truth yet. Why did they let this happen to me? Naruto shouted, the inner world trembling around them. Because they believe this is best for them, Naruto. People don't want the truth or to ask questions, Gremory said. Naruto looked at her. Those in power cling to it and refuse accountability, so rather than admit their faults, they silently shifted blame onto you, the victim. The villagers needed someone to direct their sorrow, anger, and self-righteousness toward, and you became that outlet. The council was only too happy to let them have you. In short, Naruto, in the eyes of this village, its leaders, and even your own parents, you aren't even truly human. Then, what am I? Naruto asked. A tool, an instrument to be used and discarded when no longer needed. As long as you serve them, you live, but you will never experience real freedom, Gremory told him. And they'll make sure you never realize that. Even now, as we speak, I know your body was found and is being taken to the hospital for treatment. You will survive, but the Hokage will take steps to ensure your loyalty. What will he do to me? Naruto asked, then answered himself quietly. Erase my memories. That and more, I suspect. I haven't told you before, but you have long been subject to their manipulations. You've been sealed with special marks that hinder independent thought and reinforce certain beliefs. Loyalty, the Hokage, Konoha, Gremory explained. Naruto was shocked. That's why you were so fixated on becoming Hokage and never saw beyond that. This enforced tunnel vision was exactly what they wanted. But that last attack resulted in your physical death, which deactivated those seals, allowing me access and the ability to grant you resistance to them, she continued, and Naruto was thankful. Wait, if you're such a powerful demon, why are you still here? Couldn't you just leave? Naruto wondered. Normally, I would return to my own realm and regain my full strength and form, but because of the seal, I'm trapped. Even though I am the Demon Duchess of Knowledge and can comprehend any information, I'm powerless against the seal cast by the Shinigami himself, Gremory said. As I am now, I'm but a faint shadow of my true self. To use any of my abilities, I must siphon chakra from either you or the Kyuubi. Summoning you like this and establishing this link drained all my accumulated chakra. I understand, Naruto said, pausing to absorb everything before speaking again. Gremory, why bring me here? If I had died, you'd be free, right? I would be, yes. But I would be ashamed if my freedom came at such a cost, and I would feel like I betrayed the Uzumaki. You might be surprised, but your ancestor, Minashiro, the third son of the Sage of Six Paths, was the first to make a pact with me, and I helped him and his family survive the war between Indra and Ashura, she revealed. I've always admired the Uzumaki, their spirit and principles, and have entered contracts with them from time to time. The last was with Mito, whom I greatly respected, but Kushina. Your mother, for lack of a better word, is a foolish hypocrite with whom I intend to settle scores. Is that why you need me, to get revenge? Naruto asked, already suspecting the answer. You're partly right, Naruto. I do seek vengeance, but I also want to help you, Gremory said, pointing to him. As I said, I'm fond of the Uzumaki and despise those shinobi, not just for what they did to you, but to the entire Uzumaki clan. So I want to form a pact with you. Like a contract, didn't you already have one with Kushina? Naruto asked, sensing her displeasure. It's all right. Contracts between demons and summoners differ in nature, terms, and duties from those between summons and shinobi. Once we form a pact, you gain not just me as your familiar, but also access to my knowledge and wisdom. At the same time, the summoner must care for their familiar's well-being and interests. It's a partnership, one Kushina clearly broke, Gremory explained. By doing so, she sent a message to potential demon familiars connected to the Uzumaki that she's untrustworthy. As for what you gain with me, you'll have my assistance and vast knowledge, from shinobi arts to advanced sciences and mysteries beyond worlds. I rival Dantalion and some gods in knowledge. All right, and on my part, you want me to help you get revenge? Naruto asked, and she smiled knowingly. Oh, it will be much more than that, Naruto. I intend to reclaim my body and power from the Shinigami, with your aid, and I already know how to do it, Gremory told him. I will gladly share this method with you if you agree to form a contract with me. Additionally, I will support you in any goal you pursue. In fact, I already hold a way for you to gain immense strength and break free from a certain kind of shackles. Recall when I mentioned that the conflict between Ashura and Indra extends beyond their lifetimes and affects others. I meant it literally. Their souls reincarnate in those who carry their bloodline. This time, Ashura has chosen to reincarnate within you, as a fragment of your soul. Right now, it's only a small, barely noticeable part of your being, but in time, he will push you toward actions you wouldn't normally take, using you to fulfill his own aims. I offer to separate you from him and transfer his powers and abilities to you, just as I can with Indra. But with Ashura, the process will take nearly 10 years to complete fully. The choice is yours, Naruto, Gremory said, awaiting his response. All my life, I've endured their cruelty, and if they want to use me as a slave, I will shatter these chains, Naruto declared, his determination palpable. I refuse to be anyone's puppet. I will claim my freedom by any means necessary. If that means gaining power, then so be it. I will grow so strong that not even the entire world can ever bind me again. Naruto made his vow, and Gremory smiled, confident she had backed the right person. Forest of Death. Naruto's age. 6 a year had passed since that pivotal night when everything changed, and Naruto officially forged his full contract with Gremory, becoming her summoner. This bond allowed the Demon Duchess unrestricted access to guide and assist him. True to her word, Gremory lent her power to protect Naruto's mind and keep him grounded, while teaching him a broad array of subjects, from chakra theory and its applications to more general knowledge. To say Naruto absorbed her teachings ravenously would be accurate. He learned and comprehended everything she shared, as acquiring knowledge was a step toward power and ultimately freedom. However, both Naruto and Gremory realized there was a limit to the power and knowledge attainable within Konoha's boundaries. Thus, from the start, Gremory searched for a way for Naruto to grow stronger without attracting too much attention from the village. The problem was that Naruto was under constant surveillance, limiting what he could study or practice without raising suspicion. That was until Gremory devised a new plan, which she proposed to Naruto 6 months ago. Now they were about to put it into action, which was why Naruto had sneaked into the infamous Forest of Death, making his way toward what Gremory called its heart. I've always wondered, what's so special about this place? Why does it feel different from all the other forests around Konoha? Naruto asked aloud, knowing no one else could hear. In your world, certain places serve as crossroads where natural chakra lines intersect. Because of the immense concentration of nature's chakra, local plants and creatures undergo mutations, making them unlike their usual forms, Gremory explained. This forest is one such place. What makes it unique is that it also holds residual primordial energy, which has altered the local wildlife as well. This primordial energy is exactly what we need, that's why we're here. Explain more, what sets this primordial energy apart from other kinds of chakra? Naruto questioned, navigating through the terrain. It's the foundation of all energies in existence, including chakra itself. Pure, undiluted primordial energy is what creates worlds, planets, and life upon them, Gremory replied. Normally, one would never encounter it directly, but this forest, I have a theory about why there's such a concentration here. To confirm it, we need to reach the forest's heart. I can sense the energy is strongest there. All right, I'm ready. While we head there, can you tell me why you think this ancestor of mine is still alive and willing to help me? Not to question your wisdom, Gremory, but I thought we agreed that true immortality among humans is rare if it exists at all. Emphasis on most, Naruto. The person we seek is an exception. Even among the Uzumaki, she was exceptional from the start. But her journey is what made her worthy of the gods' respect and admiration, Gremory said. Like your ancestor Minashiro, she sought answers about existence and believed that enlightenment came through self-discipline and martial mastery. She mastered her arts to such a degree that the goddesses themselves challenged her to a quest, to defeat every creature in Dunscaith and earn immortality. She did just that. Keep in mind, few demons dare tread there, yet she conquered it, a feat even I didn't expect. If I didn't know better, I'd say you're scared of her, Naruto noted, reaching a cavern entrance and stepping inside. Scared, terrified. Absolutely, Gremory answered as Naruto moved through the shadowy passage. Let me be clear, Naruto. Scathach is the first human from this world to kill 7 high-ranking Utsutsuki clan members, and that was before ascending to godhood. Even some of the great kings of hell avoid her wrath. On the bright side, she has a habit of training promising Uzumaki who find their way to her. Unfortunately, the usual path to her is blocked, so we'll have to improvise. Now we're close to our destination. As Gremory said this, Naruto stepped into a wide cavern with a hole in its ceiling that let in light, revealing something both found intriguing. Is that a horn? Naruto asked, approaching a black horn marked with red veins, broken and stabbed into the ground by a sword forged from pure black metal with strange red patterns, making it look almost mechanical. This doesn't look like it's from Konoha. I've never seen anything like it. Not surprising, since it's not from this world, Gremory said, clearly surprised. This is Excalibur, an incredibly powerful sword enchanted to absorb energy and convert it into destructive force. I've wondered for ages what happened to it. It was lost long ago during a battle between two mighty warriors in another realm. Seeing it here, alongside the Horn of Barghest, I'm beginning to piece together what occurred. It looked different before, but after prolonged contact with Barghest's horn, it seems to have absorbed some of the traits of our primordial hound of destruction. Explain that, Naruto requested, pulling the large sword free and noting its surprising lightness. Wow, lighter than I expected, but I guess that's magic for you. And what exactly is a Barghest? A tremendously powerful primordial beast, an entity born soon after this world's creation, more akin to otherworldly beings like me. Think of them as naturally occurring tailed beasts, only stronger and made from primordial energy with the ability to generate it. Barghest is one of these creatures, Gremory explained as Naruto held the horn. As I suspected, this land was once Barghest's territory. Around 7 centuries ago, she must have been killed, her body sealed away, leaving only this horn behind. No wonder the forest is saturated with primordial energy, it's emanating from this. Naruto looked down at the horn in his hand. You're telling me this whole forest exists because of just this single horn? Naruto asked Gremory, surprise evident in his voice. If one horn can cause all this, imagine what the beast could do if it ever showed up. Let's just say it would obliterate Konoha and everything within about 100 kilometers, without anything standing in its way, if it had replaced Kyuubi that night, Gremory answered. Still, this works perfectly. We can use this horn as a power source to transport you from this dimension to Dun Scaith. Now, here's what you must do. Gremory proceeded to explain the ritual Land of Shadows. Dun Scaith. Castle of Queen Scathach. At the conclusion of which, Naruto found himself falling through a portal, landing hard in the courtyard of the vast castle. Groaning, Naruto slowly got to his feet, muttering under his breath. You could have warned me, how painful this would be, Naruto grumbled, clearly annoyed. Considering it's your first time crossing realms, and you're not even a novice at this, plus the complicated nature of such magic, I'd say you did exceptionally well, Gremory replied. As for the pain, we had limited resources and had to skip some preparations. All things considered, this is quite a success. I'll take your word, Naruto muttered, standing fully and looking around. I expected something, I don't know, darker for the Land of Shadows. Here's some advice, young traveler, never judge a place by its first impression, a dignified voice said from behind him, prompting Naruto to turn. There stood an incredibly beautiful woman, with long purple hair and red eyes, her figure surpassing even the most admired beauties of Konoha. She wore a dark purple bodysuit, her hand gripping a menacing crimson spear. Forgive me if I seemed disrespectful. I didn't mean to intrude on your domain thoughtlessly, Naruto bowed respectfully. The woman paused briefly before speaking again. Raise your head, young one, she said. When he looked up, she studied him closely. How intriguing, tell me, what is your name? I am Naruto Uzumaki. It's an honor to meet you, Naruto introduced himself, bowing once more. A member of my clan, I see, she murmured to herself quietly, then addressed Naruto again. I am Scathach, ruler of this realm you call the Land of Shadows, mistress of this castle, and once a member of your clan. Why have you come to my domain? Those who came before you were at least 10 years older, having explored my lands first. Yet you've arrived directly at my doorstep, through a rather crude method. I would have thought the elders of our clan, or your parents, would try to dissuade someone like you from such dangerous endeavors. About that, if I may ask, how long has it been since you've had visitors from my world, my queen? Naruto asked respectfully, causing Scathach to raise an eyebrow. You may simply call me Scathach, for I am not your queen, she corrected. And to answer your question, time in my realm flows at my discretion, different from your world, so I cannot give you a straightforward answer. Your question, however, stirs suspicions within me. Tell me, Naruto, what has become of our clan and your world? Naruto sighed wearily. It's a long story, Naruto replied simply. Scathach summoned 2 chairs, settling comfortably in one and offering the other to him. Thank you, Naruto accepted and sat. Fortunately, we have all the time we need, Scathach said. Well, to start, Naruto began, recounting to Scathach the events that brought him here, as well as what had happened since her last visitor from the Uzumaki clan. The queen listened intently, only speaking after he finished. So, a tragic fate has befallen our clan. Such was not uncommon in the Sengoku era, and one must be prepared for it, But it still pains me deeply, Skathach said with sorrow. I had heard rumors of those shinobi villages forming from Mito, and feared they would only bring more bloodshed and conflict, which our clan needed no part of. It grieves me that my last pupil's life was spent serving that corrupt system and protecting it. But what enrages me most is how you have been mistreated and made to suffer for others' ambitions and greed, Naruto. You have my deepest sympathies. If you wish, you are welcome to stay in my realm and escape the hidden leaf. I pledge to offer you every protection you require. Skathach's voice was full of solemn conviction as she reached out to touch Naruto. I'm truly grateful for your offer, Skathach, but I have not come to ask for refuge, Naruto replied, piquing her curiosity. Gremory told me you grant the privilege of training and teaching to the finest of the Uzumaki clan. I know I am nothing like those before me, and the son of a traitor, but I beg you to give me a chance to learn from you. Naruto suddenly rose, then knelt and bowed deeply before Skathach. I know I have little worth, but please allow me the opportunity to prove myself. Before he could continue, he felt Skathach's hands lift his head gently, her eyes warm and kind as they met his. Stand tall, Naruto, she said softly, helping him up. Many have come here boasting of their skills, treating my training as a mere commodity. All were found lacking. But your humility and strength of character, despite all that's been done to you, show true courage, a quality I value when choosing who to train. You are worthy. I accept you as my apprentice. I thank you, Shishu, Naruto bowed again, a faint smile crossing Skathach's face. I usually train my students for just a few years, but with you, it will be 8. I will teach you arts I have withheld even from my most promising pupils. Skathach revealed, surprising Naruto. While you train, I will not allow Gremory to interfere with the Ashura soul within you. She may resume once you return to your world, but until then, I want you at your strongest. I appreciate that, Shishu, but if I stay this long, won't everyone in Konoha notice I've grown so much when I return? Naruto asked. Skathach smiled. In this realm, time flows according to my will compared to other worlds, so while 8 years pass here, only moments will in yours. As for your appearance, your training with me will be complemented by what Gremory teaches you. I am sure the wise demon Duchess of Knowledge will instruct you on how to hide your true identity and nature. Oh, you better believe it. I'll teach you techniques so advanced, no one will ever be able to distinguish your clones from the original, Gremory assured Naruto. Thank you, Shishu, Naruto smiled warmly at her. Please take good care of me. I certainly will, Naruto, she promised him. Just a moment later in the shinobi world, 8 years had passed in the land of shadows. Naruto's age, 14. The instant Naruto departed from this world to the land of shadows, a new portal opened exactly where he had vanished. Stepping through was not a thin, malnourished boy, but a young man, strong and lean, clad in a dark purple coat adorned with deep red accents and armored plates. Beneath, he wore a matching armored shirt and black pants, along with armored greaves and gauntlets. His face was sharper and leaner than Minato Namikaze's, yet the resemblance was unmistakable. His hair, less spiky and more naturally tousled, had grown paler, and his eyes gleamed gold, clear marks of his training with the legendary witch of the land of shadows. Taking a deep breath, Naruto Uzumaki scanned his surroundings and finally spoke. Home sweet home, Naruto muttered as he sensed the flow of energy around him through his heightened senses. Well, no time like the present, time to get started. Yang style. Shadow clone jutsu. A unique clone materialized, quickly assuming Naruto's former appearance via specialized transformation, and set off toward the village. With the Yang style, that clone will flawlessly mimic you, and thanks to our bond, will receive constant feedback from him, Gremory responded as Naruto recalled her lessons on the subject. That frees us to begin work beyond the hidden leaf. First on the list, reclaim Mito's secret cache. It contains funds crucial for setting up your enterprises, she concluded. But with the powers you've gained, Naruto, wouldn't it be possible for you to already sever ties with Konoha? A new voice, Barghest's, echoed inside Naruto's mind. After your training with Lady Skathach and holding your ground against me, I doubt anyone in that village poses a true threat. That might be true, Naruto answered. But as we've all learned, greater dangers exist beyond just the shinobi Barghest. Even in this form, I wouldn't stand a chance against them. That's why I need to become even stronger. He continued, besides, breaking free from Konoha and fulfilling our deals won't be the endgame. I must plan beyond that. For now, it's best if Naruto Uzumaki remains as he appears to Konoha, while the real me prepares for what lies ahead. With that, he began moving out of the cave. By the way, you've been quite reserved about your future plans with us, Gremory observed. You've had time to consider things. What have you decided? I thought you'd already know everything, given where you live, Naruto replied dryly. And I assumed by now you'd realize I respect your privacy, she answered, making Naruto chuckle. Let's just say, I'm done playing the endless game of shinobi or following their rules. Minato and the others thought they could use me like a tool, for their own amusement. I intend to return the favor, Naruto declared, leaving both entities somewhat puzzled by his choice. Do you still intend to become Hokage? Barghest asked. It's obvious it would be nearly impossible. The village would never accept you. Good thing I'm no longer aiming that low, Barghest, Naruto laughed. Emerging from the cave, his chakra senses detected something nearby. That feels strange, like nature chakra inside a living being. Need to check it out. Donning a metal mask matching his attire over his eyes, Naruto quickly moved toward the source of the disturbance. From his vantage point, he witnessed signs of a massacre. At least 5 Konoha ANBU were dead. In the center, a grotesque, mutated creature that seemed a nightmarish blend of dragon, snake, and woman feasted on the remains. For most, such a sight would induce shock and terror, but Naruto had seen far worse in the land of shadows and had defeated them. Observing the abomination with his heightened senses, he soon understood the issue. That woman is absorbing nature chakra without sage mode, mutating her body and chakra network, Naruto said aloud, watching her devour the ANBU corpses. It's burning through her nutrients like wildfire, so she's desperately replenishing. If this continues, she'll either die or lose all humanity. Neither outcome is desirable. But if you want, I think we could save her, Gremory said, watching the monster roar in pain and hunger. The choice is yours, Naruto. He took a moment before deciding, descending to ground level. The mutated woman immediately noticed and charged at him, roaring. I don't know if you understand me, but if you do, bear with me for a moment. Naruto produced one of his crimson chains, ensnaring the monster, then delivered a powerful shock to knock it unconscious, halting its rampage. All right, time to help her. Hours later. Anko Mitarashi was no stranger to waking up feeling like she'd survived hell itself, but what she felt now was unlike anything she'd ever known. Worse still, she remembered every agonizing moment of her transformation. The pain, the hunger, the primal instincts, and worst of all, that it hadn't been her choice. It had been the shinobi of Konoha who did this to her, an attempt to replicate Orochimaru's cursed seal or at least use it. What happened instead was a terrifying mutation, causing Anko to flee, seeking refuge, only to be pursued and then. Her eyes snapped open to find herself human again, sitting upright in a cave with a hole in the ceiling and a fire burning nearby. Sitting beside her was the man who'd knocked her out, a young man with pale blonde hair, fair skin, and an aura of mystery and power. Glad to see you're awake, Anko. I believe that's your name, Anko Mitarashi, he asked gently. She blinked, confused, and he sighed before continuing. In case you're wondering, yes, you're alive, and I saved you from that transformation. I removed the seal on your neck, so your old teacher won't bother you anymore. Anko took a moment to absorb the news. And what about the ANBU? She asked quietly. The ones you ate? She felt like vomiting, but the man spoke calmly. Yes, you did, but it wasn't your fault. You weren't in control of what happened. Don't blame yourself. He met her gaze steadily. I made sure it won't happen again. However, I couldn't completely remove the mutation since the seal had altered too much of your body. Fortunately, I did the next best thing and saved your life. And, what exactly did you do to me? She asked suspiciously, before a realization dawned on her. You didn't take advantage of me while I was unconscious, did you? She suddenly demanded. As the man raised an eyebrow, Anko pointed out that she was completely naked in front of him. Despite appearances, I do have principles. Besides, I was focused on more urgent matters, saving your life, he replied. As for what I did, I basically refined the mutation and adapted it into what those others were trying to accomplish. Simply put, your body can now naturally absorb nature chakra without harm, using it to supplement your own chakra, which is why you can sense it all around you. Plus, you now have a second form at your disposal. If you're curious, activate it the same way you do the cursed seal. It's best you witness it yourself. Trusting his words, Anko complied. Soon, she felt her body drawing in a large amount of nature chakra. Then it happened, like last time, but instead of pain or agony, she felt something like euphoria, as if she was finally freeing herself. Her body grew taller and more muscular, her hair lengthened straight down to her ankles, glowing bright purple, her eyes shifting to match. Her limbs became covered in hardened black and gold scales, her hands and feet turned clawed. A tail sprouted from her back, the same color and snake-like. Previously, Anko would have been terrified by this transformation, but now it felt natural, like breathing. After observing herself for a moment, she turned to the man, who calmly tended to the fire. "Why did you do this for me? Who exactly are you?" she asked. "Because I wanted to. After reading the mind of the creature sealed within you and the other ANBU who pursued you, I understood what you've been through. Like you, I've suffered at the hands of this village, thanks to those greedy enough to use others for their ambitions," he answered, turning fully to her. "As for who I am, I'm Naruto Uzumaki," he said with a small smirk. Anko didn't believe him. "You've got to be kidding. I've seen that kid plenty of times, no way you're him," she scoffed, but Naruto locked eyes with her and made a hand sign. "Wait, what are you? Like I said, it's best you see for yourself." He sent her a genjutsu showing a summary of his memories, answering all her questions and leaving Anko wide-eyed in shock. "Do you believe me now? Damn. And you just came back and—" Anko was processing everything she'd seen as Naruto stood, brushing off his coat. "Hey, where are you headed?" "To get us some food. With your new form, you'll need twice the nutrients to function properly." "I also need to replenish myself," Naruto said, preparing to leave when Anko stopped him. "Wait, what's going to happen now?" she asked. "Look, I saw your plan, so I get the gist, but aren't you worried I'll blab about it?" "Isn't this risky?" Naruto paused, then answered. "Honestly, yes, it's a risk. It would have been safer to leave you behind, but I chose to do right by someone clearly wronged by the shinobi." Anko looked surprised. "The ones who experimented on you are part of a secret faction inside ANBU called Root, led by a big shot named Danzo Shimura. He and Orochimaru wanted to improve the seal, using you as their test subject. The third Hokage knew Danzo was investigating your seal, but didn't know Orochimaru was involved. Basically, the third sold you out. I took care of the ANBU hunting you, altered their memories to think you're dead. You're free to do as you wish, but I wouldn't recommend going back to Konoha." Naruto let this settle in before Anko finally spoke. "All right, I'm coming with you," she said suddenly. Naruto looked surprised. "What those bastards did to you was sick, and now they've done the same to me. The only person who's treated me decently is you, and if you're planning to take revenge on the Leaf, I want in. Plus, if you're gonna pull off those big plans, you're going to need help. I'm offering mine." "You're ready to abandon the Leaf, your friends and allies just like that?" Naruto asked, Anko glaring at him. "You're not the only one treated like garbage here. I've caught hell for my bastard of a teacher and his experiments, and now those same bastards did this to me," she said, her anger flaring, then she calmed down. "I'm done being a victim or a pawn to lying scumbags. You'll treat me better. Besides, I owe you my life, doesn't that count? And really, are you going to say no when I'm offering all this for free?" she said, showing off her new unique beauty with Naruto clearly admiring which she noticed. "This your final decision?" Naruto asked. Anko nodded firmly. "Then I accept you as my partner and ally, Anko." "Just partner and ally," she teased. "Not interested in something more? Closer?" she asked directly, and Naruto chuckled. "You don't like beating around the bush, do you?" he said, as Anko stood and sauntered toward him. "Well, I'm that kind of girl," she said, pushing him down and lowering herself over him, practically purring with desire. "I go for what I want, no hesitation. And you, I want you bad," she said with a predatory tone before capturing his lips in a fierce kiss. They devoured each other passionately, nearly animalistic. Afterwards, Naruto had no doubt about Anko's loyalty. When the sun rose again, they set out to lay the groundwork for the end of Konoha's reign. Half a year later, deep within the Hyuga clan's secret sacred grounds. Naruto, age 14. The last 6 months had been busy for Naruto and Anko, building the foundation of Naruto's shadow network and establishing contacts across the land of fire. Starting such an enterprise from nothing wasn't easy, but Naruto didn't complain. The secret funds he recovered from Mito Uzumaki's hideout provided the capital he needed. Though his network was still in early stages, Naruto made sure it remained hidden, taking care to avoid drawing attention from powerful figures like Konoha's leadership. Still, he was achieving progress and moving in the right direction, and Naruto initially believed that he wouldn't personally return to Konoha for at least another 6 months, letting his Yang clone handle the duties in his stead. However, it was a report from Gremory about his clone's activities that first sparked his curiosity, then concern, as it involved a certain Hinata Hyuga, a shy, innocent girl Naruto had saved before meeting Gremory. According to the report, Hinata had mysteriously vanished some weeks prior, and no one knew her whereabouts, with her clan refusing to share any details. Normally, no one would have given much thought to Hinata, but the fact that she had taken an interest in observing Naruto from a distance, and Naruto was aware of it, made her sudden disappearance troubling. This raised Naruto's alarm since, despite her timidness and near-stalking behavior, he harbored a soft spot for her, which was why he decided to return to Konoha to investigate the situation, bringing Anko along. Choosing to gather information directly, Naruto ambushed and extracted the necessary details from a senior member of the Hyuga clan, then wiped his memory of the event. From him, Naruto discovered that the Hyuga elders had decreed Hinata's disinheritance, and that she was to be used in some kind of ascension ritual, which, based on what Naruto learned, would grant the Hyuga clan unmatched strength within the leaf. Everything he uncovered indicated that the Hyuga were exploiting Hinata, similarly to how Orochimaru and Danzo had used Anko, so the two resolved to intervene. Stealthily making their way into the clan's sacred grounds, secluded on Konoha's outskirts, Naruto and Anko, dressed alike, concealed themselves and observed the scene below. In a clearing, they saw blood seals glowing with chakra, with Hinata unconscious and unclothed in the center of a circular formation. Over 20 Hyuga members guarded her, while 5 others performed sealing rituals. One elder held a large blackened red crystal, filled with a writhing, formless energy that pulsed with power, an unnatural force for a shinobi and eerily familiar to Naruto. That crystal, it feels like primordial energy, but far worse, Naruto whispered, Anko listening intently. It pulses with darkness like it's a soul, yet not quite. His tone alone caused Anko to grow uneasy, but what she noticed next frightened her even more. Naruto, your hand, it's trembling. She pointed to his right hand, which was indeed shaking slightly. I'm getting seriously bad vibes from that thing. I want to be miles away. I don't blame you. I'm stunned those fools even dared touch this. Gremory's serious voice came through, making Naruto realize how grave the situation was. That crystal contains darkness energy, an element of creation related to the primordial energy but dangerously unstable. Worse still, darkness can absorb all forms of matter: physical, energy, mental, and spiritual. This one has absorbed negative emotions, anger, pride, lust, all the 7 deadly sins, so it must have existed since the Sengoku era began. And the Hyuga Naruto, stop them. No matter what, don't let them implant it in Hinata. Naruto heard the urgency, instantly summoning his dark Excalibur, while Anko partially shifted into her Gorgon form, as she called it, before they leapt from their hiding spot. Intruders, stop them. We've come too far to be stopped now, the elder commanded, rushing to Hinata with Naruto charging after him. Halfway there, 7 Hyuga members intercepted, ready to use their gentle fist technique, but they were too slow. Naruto swung Excalibur, releasing a dark wave that obliterated them and cleared his path, while Anko fought off the rest. Nearing the seal's border, Naruto spotted a barrier blocking entry, held up by 10 more Hyuga. Seeing the elder closing on Hinata, Naruto wasted no time and revealed his secret weapon. A fearsome red spear materialized in his hand. Gibalg, seek your prey, he shouted. A dark red thread shot from the spear's tip, striking the hearts of every Hyuga within the seal, finishing with the elder, who failed to reach Hinata, and the barrier collapsed. Now, to save her gods, what have they done to her? Naruto exclaimed, approaching Hinata to examine her body, noticing black and red lines spreading across her pale skin as she convulsed. Her Byakugan eyes were replaced by what looked like shards of the crystal, with darkness emanating from them. This is worse than I feared. They've already implanted smaller crystal shards inside her to prepare for the big infusion. We can't purify or remove those shards, they're part of her now. She's turning into something like a demon, but the corrupted side is clashing with her humanity, and she's essentially dying, Gremory explained. If purification isn't an option, then maybe finishing the ritual will save her, Naruto considered. But if we infuse the crystal and she transforms, the overwhelming negativity might break her mentally, unless we can siphon the darkness out. Even now, Hinata's already been broken by what's inside, Gremory said, sensing Naruto's guilt for being too late. Naruto, now's not the time for self-blame. We have a choice to make. We save her, Naruto said firmly, picking up the crystal. Tell me what to do. Gremory began her instructions. Hours later, for the first time in what felt like an eternity, Hinata awoke free from pain or torment, something she hadn't thought possible. Opening her eyes, she was overwhelmed with joy. But as the euphoria faded, she realized she was no longer the same as before. Her body, mind, and spirit had all changed. Shyness, embarrassment, and fear had vanished or diminished, while passion, willfulness, playfulness, and her love for Naruto were stronger than ever. Her mind was sharper and more mature, yet retained some innocence and youthfulness, but overall much more developed. There was no denying Hinata had become something beyond human, and she embraced this change. Only after reveling in her newfound strength did she notice the drastic changes to her body. She was no longer a child but a grown young woman with pronounced curves. Gazing at her reflection in a nearby pond, she saw ruby-red eyes that still felt like Byakugan or something similar, and her skin had turned pale, almost doll-like, with long snow-white hair. Surprisingly, Hinata felt no fear or disgust at her new form. Instead, a sense of fulfillment and happiness washed over her. Once Hinata finished her self-examination, she glanced around and finally noticed two figures nearby, a woman and a man wearing similar, yet distinct garments unlike ordinary people. And the man, Hinata's newfound senses, which she hadn't realized she possessed until now, almost screamed to her that he was Naruto, the boy who had protected her from bullies and given her a reason to live. He was sitting on the ground, clearly drained and exhausted, breathing heavily and seemingly unable to move. Naruto-kun, Hinata whispered softly, adjusting to the sound of her changed voice, catching the attention of both him and the woman beside him. You're awake, Naruto murmured between ragged breaths. I'm glad you're still alive, Hinata. I'm sorry I came so late. His labored breathing and weakened state stirred a deep, instinctive fear within Hinata, prompting her to move closer, only for Anko to step between them. Hey, hold on, lady. You've been through hell and… Suddenly, Hinata lashed out, grabbing Anko's throat with fierce determination, lifting her up and staring down at her with pure ferocity. Stay away from Naruto, she growled, preparing to unleash her full second form, as dark red-black energy began to manifest, twisting into shadowy tendrils ready to tear Anko apart. Hinata, Naruto's single shout snapped her out of the fury, drawing her full attention back to him. Let Anko go. She means a lot to me, just like you do. Naruto's strained words seemed to trigger something in Hinata's mind, and she immediately released Anko, her face flooding with sorrow and guilt. I'm sorry, she apologized quickly while Anko coughed, regaining her breath. I don't know why I did that. Don't worry, Anko said once she caught her breath. But wow, you almost crushed my throat. Naruto warned me you weren't exactly human anymore, but damn, demons really are a different breed. Demons? Hinata asked, glancing down at her changed form. Is this what I've become now? Let me explain, and greetings, Hinata Hyuga. Suddenly, a voice echoed in Hinata's mind. I am Gremory, the Demon Duchess of Knowledge, currently an involuntary occupant inside Naruto, alongside a certain pseudo-yakai and a primordial beast. But don't worry about that now. What matters is that I'm communicating with you through a special seal Naruto placed on you, allowing us to connect. Please bear with me a moment while I bring you up to speed. Gremory then proceeded to explain the entire situation to Hinata. Though it felt like hours to her, only moments passed. When she finished, Hinata looked up at Naruto with the warmest smile. Naruto-kun, you saved me again. Hinata said softly, her voice filled with love. I'm so happy. Me too, but aren't you disturbed by what you've learned about me? Naruto asked as his strength began to return. Hinata shook her head almost immediately. What do you think about it all, Hinata? He pressed. I want to help you, stand by your side and fight alongside you. Hinata responded with heartfelt sincerity, prompting Anko to raise an eyebrow before turning to Naruto. If you oppose Konoha, then so do I. I'm yours in everything. Not to sound like a killjoy, but are you really okay with all this? Anko asked Naruto. I get why I'm wary, but in her case, this sounds like just some clan issues. The village didn't do anything to her. They hurt Naruto and you too, My clan also hurt him, I can't forgive that. Hinata said, her voice trembling with anger before softening. I know I'm different now and won't be like them anymore. I'm who I am, and if Naruto wants me, I'll give him everything I have. Naruto took a moment to consider, then slowly got to his feet and spoke. Is this truly what you want? Not out of obligation or debt, but from your own heart? Naruto asked. Yes, Naruto, I belong to you forever and always. Hinata declared with complete devotion, her sincerity clear. As I said, the shards have changed her, made her more direct, extreme, but also sincere and open. Her core remains the same. She has maturity comparable to you and Anko, and can even appear as she did before the transformation. Not to be practical, but she could be a valuable asset in Konoha. Gremory informed Naruto through their link. Naruto-kun, you need someone loyal to help you carry out your plans in Konoha. I can do that. Gremory will train me, and I promise to be useful in any way. Hinata sensed Naruto's thoughts, her expression shifting to one of desperation. Please, Naruto-kun, I want to be yours and, I understand, and I accept you, Hinata, Naruto said. She immediately hugged him tightly, then pressed her lips against his, almost devouring him, and he instinctively responded before they finally parted. Ah, you'll need some clothes. Why? Is my body repulsive to you? She asked, ready to change. No, not at all, it's extremely attractive. Naruto admitted, making Hinata smile. But we need to cover you, it must be uncomfortable being so exposed. Hinata giggled, reaching out to Naruto. I don't feel exposed or embarrassed, and if Naruto-kun likes seeing me like this, her other hand boldly touched him, then I'm happy and want to give you even more pleasure. She said sultrily, prompting Anko to whistle. You said you don't mince words. Anko teased, licking her lips suggestively, while Hinata prepared to join Naruto. It's safe to say that after that night, Naruto's life got a little more lively, and he was glad for it. He'd come to accept this new life and was more than happy to have Hinata by his side. As for the Hyuga clan, all they learned was that their experiment had been an extremely expensive failure. Since the lead on the experiment kept things secret, no one was surprised to see Hinata return unchanged before she left. Though she appeared as before and seemed to have no memory of the ordeal, the newly born demon of darkness quietly spread her beloved's influence, growing his power within Konoha while mastering her own. 3 years later. Uchiha grounds. Naruto's age, 17, will you help me? Itachi asked the masked man as they met on the sacred grounds of the Uchiha clan, forgotten by most but a select few. Yes, I'll help you wipe out our clan, but in return you join my organization, the man replied. As you wish, but no matter what you keep my little brother out of this. Itachi warned, and the man nodded in agreement. We strike after dusk tonight, I need you to handle the police station. And the ANBU won't interfere, the man asked. Itachi nodded. Good. Then the man vanished in a swirl and Itachi left the grounds. No one noticed Naruto lurking in the shadows, before stepping out with a smirk. So, the council is basically making Itachi handle all their dirty deeds. Or rather, it's Danzo pulling the strings, Naruto remarked about the news he'd heard. I suppose I should be grateful to Itachi for sparing Sasuke, otherwise, I'd have to eliminate him myself for denying me Indra's new vessel. He still plans to annihilate his own clan. Perhaps it's wise to act on this, especially since you have quite a few allies within it. Gremory reminded Naruto, who nodded internally in agreement. During the last 3 years of his covert operations, Naruto had successfully built a network of spies, informants, and enforcers not only outside, but also inside the Leaf Village. He found a surprisingly large number of supporters within the Uchiha clan itself. Most of these discoveries, as well as much of the intelligence within Konoha, were thanks to Hinata, who proved to be an excellent manipulator and a true power behind the scenes. She had identified those Uchiha members who were frustrated with Konoha's treatment, but had no interest in Fugaku's and his faction's schemes. They simply wanted to survive and gain better treatment. Naruto was honestly surprised that nearly a third of the Uchiha clan were pragmatic enough to want out while they still could, and they were all more than willing to pledge their loyalty to Naruto and his expanding shadow empire. Naruto wasn't about to let some of his most valuable allies perish without a fight, so he was already crafting a plan and sent a mental signal to someone who soon appeared before him. Lord Uzumaki, the man from the Uchiha clan, dressed in a police force uniform, bowed respectfully. What are your orders, my lord? Konoha's council has finally made their decision regarding the Uchiha clan. Their verdict is to exterminate it before another war breaks out, and they've assigned Itachi Uchiha to carry out the task, Naruto explained, watching the man's face register shock. Tatsuya, you need to relay this message to all who follow me. Gather yourselves and your families at the designated spot before nightfall. So, it's as you predicted, my lord, Tatsuya Uchiha said bitterly. To think, after everything we've done for this village, those bastards don't even listen to us, they treat us like disposable guard dogs. His anger was clear as he stared into Naruto's eyes. Can I trust you to handle this, Tatsuya? Naruto asked again, and the man bowed his head in agreement. Yes, my lord, I will carry out your commands, he assured. My lord, about the matter we discussed earlier, Tatsuya hesitated, prompting Naruto's interest. Yes, Naruto asked. My sister Mikoto has made it clear that no matter her own feelings, she will stand by Fugaku through everything, Tatsuya said regretfully. I know she has failed you as your godmother, but I beg you to, say no more, Naruto interrupted. I'll take care of her, you have my word, just make sure your people are prepared. Yes, my lord. And thank you, Tatsuya said before vanishing from sight. That was unexpected, agreeing to help him, even though she is essentially a stranger to you, Naruto, Barghest observed with surprise. It will also complicate protecting your supporters from Konoha's scrutiny. Are you sure this is wise? Wise, nope, but I value Tatsuya, he's been honest and loyal. Plus, his daughters adore Mikoto, and I hate seeing kids suffer, Naruto sighed, closing his eyes briefly as he sensed a familiar presence. You're back earlier than I thought, Anko. His first partner and de facto right-hand woman appeared, dressed similarly to Naruto with her hair in a long loose ponytail. Things went smoother than expected. Haruto and his crew are eager to join us, on the condition that you deal with the Namikaze clan's heavy hitters before they make a move, Anko reported, handing Naruto a scroll. As a token of good faith, they wanted me to pass this along, said you'd find it interesting. Naruto unfurled the scroll and smiled. Well, this is intriguing. Seems I'm not the only one eyeing a government shakeup in the land of fire. Anko glanced over it. Yorinobu and the Main family are plotting to overthrow the daimyo. They're done with their puppets act. They installed that fool just because he was easy to manipulate, after killing his older brother and staging a coup to keep his daughter off the throne, and now they want rid of him too, Anko said with amusement. The Namikaze really love being the power behind the throne. What's your move? For now, nothing. They won't act until their new puppet is ready, and that won't be for at least 4 or 5 years. We'll pass this to the princess as a sign of our commitment, Naruto said. But first, we've got an old schemer to eliminate. Anko's lips curled into a vicious grin. About time. I've been itching to bury that bastard. Every last one of them, Naruto confirmed, watching her barely contain her excitement. Did I ever tell you how much I love you? Anko asked, licking her lips in anticipation. You really know how to spoil a girl. Speaking of girls and gifts, should we bring Hinata along? She's itching to spend time with you. Of course, Naruto said, sending a mental signal to Hinata. Moments later, a shadowy portal opened, and Hinata appeared in her true form, wearing a sleek black dress with red accents. Hinata, how are you? Naruto asked. Better than ever, now that I'm with you, Hinata replied with a joyful smile. As usual, you save me in my darkest moments. I was about to endure another round of my father's usual berating, while Neji smirked in amusement. I pity my clone for having to suffer through it, but she was glad to take the burden. Now, how can I help you, Naruto-kun? What do you wish of me, my love? The playful undertone wasn't lost on anyone present. I'm planning to end Danzo Shimura and his secret army. Will you stand with us? Naruto asked. Must you even ask, Naruto-kun? Hinata replied sweetly before her smile turned fierce with excitement. Helping you crush your enemies is one of the greatest joys I can imagine. Route ANBU headquarters hours later. While Itachi Uchiha carried out his orders to slaughter the Uchiha clan, Naruto, Anko, and Hinata used the opportunity to finally dismantle Danzo Shimura's covert enforcers. Route ANBU. Under other circumstances, Naruto might have ignored this, but Danzo's forces had begun interfering with his outside enterprises and snooping where they weren't welcome, like Naruto's secret dealings with Konoha citizens. Though Root was unlikely to uncover anything critical, Naruto refused to take chances. With Anko eager to settle her score with Danzo, their next target was clear. Even though Root was technically a branch of ANBU, elite shinobi reputed to be the village's finest warriors for both defense and attack, Danzo's pawns turned out to be little challenge when faced directly by the trio. Compared to them, Naruto had undergone rigorous training under an actual goddess of martial arts, sealing techniques, weapon mastery, and combat strategy. Meanwhile, Anko possessed nearly impenetrable scales, incredible speed and strength, and could literally freeze a person's chakra flow with a single glance. As for Hinata, under Gremory's guidance, she had become a living nightmare, wielding her newly acquired darkness element as a versatile weapon, from summoning piercing spikes to crafting living constructs from shadows. On top of that, Hinata's essence was pure darkness itself, allowing her to manifest across the battlefield, with her physical form being only a fraction of her true presence. Unlike before, Hinata no longer hesitated or held back when dispatching foes, doing so with cold enthusiasm. She moved casually as tendrils of darkness erupted around her, slicing, crushing, and consuming everything nearby. Naruto and Anko both understood that if Hinata chose, she could annihilate everyone instantly, but she held back, knowing they wanted to join in the carnage. She watched intently as Naruto wielded his Excalibur with both elegance and raw power. 5 enemies charged at Naruto from every direction, hoping to trap him, but instead only made it easier for him to slice them all down. Gripping his blade, Naruto vanished into a shadowy blur, moving faster than their eyes could follow. Within seconds, he reappeared beside Anko and flicked his blood-stained sword, causing the last 5 Root operatives to collapse like shattered dolls. Hinata looked utterly enthralled, as if witnessing the show of the century. "That should be all of them, unless we're missing someone," Anko said, scanning the area. "But it seems the rat isn't hiding tonight." Hinata responded with a playful giggle. "Oh, he's definitely here. Just a bit shy, that's all," she said before flashing a wicked smile. "It's rude for a host to ignore their guests and leave them to amuse themselves. Time to come out." With that, Hinata sliced through the beam Danzo was perched on, forcing him to leap down before the trio, visibly annoyed. "Danzo Shimura, took you long enough to reveal yourself," Naruto remarked as he faced him. "A true shinobi waits to strike at the perfect moment," Danzo replied coldly. "Clearly, you and your companions never learned that lesson wherever you hail from," Naruto chuckled softly. "We're actually from Konoha, though I doubt you'd know us. At least 2 of us," Naruto said. "While you waited, all your little puppets fell, and you only showed up once we found you. To me, that just screams cowardice." Danzo's glare intensified as he began unwrapping the bandages from his right arm. "They were meant to die for me for Konoha," Danzo said, revealing the Sharingans implanted in his arm. "Their sacrifice allowed me to see your true power. Now, there's no way you can defeat me. You might as well surrender and beg for a quick death." "Wow, he's sure full of himself," Anko sneered, transforming fully into her Gorgon form. "Should I take him down?" Naruto nodded, and she lunged forward, her hair turning into black snakes that tore into Danzo, ending his life. "Now I remember. Your Orochimaru's failed experiment, the one who was supposed to have died 3 years ago," Danzo suddenly said from behind Naruto, drawing a kunai and preparing to strike. "So you're the one who took her in." He threw the kunai, but before his arm could fully extend, a cloak of darkness enveloped him, crushing and consuming his body. "How strange," Hinata said with exaggerated curiosity as everyone turned toward Danzo, who reappeared alive and unharmed. "I was certain Anko killed him, and he vanished into my darkness. Yet here he is again. Is he teleporting or something?" Anko asked, irritated. Naruto shook his head. "No, you did kill him, but he came back," Naruto said confidently as Danzo made his move again. "That one seems the strongest. I'll take her myself," Danzo declared, appearing before Hinata. "Now you will serve me." At that moment, he cast Kadomatsukami on her. But Hinata's darkness sliced him into hundreds of pieces, her face full of annoyance. "Serve you? I answer to only one man, and compared to him, you're nothing," Hinata growled. Suddenly, Danzo reappeared, grabbing Hinata and pressing a kunai to her throat, drawing Naruto and Anko's attention. "Let's test your loyalty," Danzo said, facing Naruto. "To kill me, you'll have to strike your friend, and I guarantee your attack will be fatal. So, do you have the resolve to sacrifice her, or will you beg for her life if she means that much to you?" Hinata chuckled, amused, while Naruto raised his sword, charging it with energy. "She means more to me than this entire village," Naruto said, swinging Excalibur and unleashing a destructive wave toward Danzo and Hinata, shocking Danzo with his resolve. You'd never understand the depth of my feelings for her. That was the last Danzo heard before the blast obliterated him. Hinata appeared beside Naruto, completely unharmed and glowing with love at his words. Okay, how many times has that been? 4, Anko asked, then turned to Hinata. Did you notice anything different about Danzo every time he came back? Hinata thought for a moment. Oh yes, each time he reappears, one of the Sharingans on his arm shuts, Hinata said just as Danzo appeared on another beam. Just like now. Danzo's shock shifted to irritation. You're not with Akatsuki or any other village, Danzo said, trying to place them. Are you with Madara Uchiha? Naruto was a bit surprised but kept calm. You mean the guy behind the mask? No, he's just another name on my list, Naruto answered. But if you want to know why we're after you, it's simple. You and your pawns poked your noses where they don't belong. That didn't seem to enlighten Danzo. No matter. I'll learn enough from your corpses, Danzo said, preparing to strike, when Hinata's darkness seized him, restraining but not killing him. You think holding me back will stop me from killing you? No, but this will. Naruto unleashed a chain that pierced Danzo's chest, sending a powerful pulse through it, causing Danzo to scream in agony as his chakra burned. Oh my, looks like his arm is turning into an actual tree, Hinata observed, amused as her darkness consumed the object, leaving Danzo alive but mortal. Now he can't run. She released him, allowing Naruto to pull Danzo closer with the chain. Why you wield Uzumaki chains? Danzo gasped through the pain, coughing up blood. So, why you've come to avenge your fallen clan? Honestly, I wasn't aware of that, but truth be told, it makes ending you all the more satisfying. Naruto replied coldly, before driving his chain straight through Danzo, then swinging it with force that shredded Danzo's body into a mass of flesh, shattered bones and blood, which spilled onto the ground, finally freeing him from this world. That's the end of him and his little crew, Naruto muttered, suddenly sensing another presence, someone very familiar approaching. Oh, looks like we've got company. And what company indeed, the third Hokage himself, ready for battle. Hinata remarked as she spotted him emerging from one of the tunnels, still out of direct sight. Shall we take care of him too, Naruto-kun? She asked. No, his death would work against us. Our business here is finished. Let's move, Naruto said, and the three quietly withdrew moments before Hiruzen Sarutobi and a squad of elite ANBU appeared. Lord Hokage, whoever was responsible for this attack has fled, reported one ANBU. No signs of any survivors here, just us. Spread out and secure the perimeter, but remain alert, the enemy may still be lurking nearby. Hiruzen commanded, surveying the massacre site. Could this have been Itachi's doing? Is he stronger than we suspected? He wondered aloud, completely unaware of the true situation. The next day, Konoha was informed that the Uchiha clan had been wiped out, save for one, Sasuke Uchiha, at the hands of Itachi Uchiha, while any news concerning Root Anbu and Danzo Shimura was heavily censored. The villagers were told only that Danzo had passed away peacefully in his sleep. A quiet, respectable end for a man, regarded as one of the village's most esteemed leaders, oblivious to the countless crimes he had committed. Across the land of fire, in scattered towns and cities, a steady flow of newcomers arrived, families and individuals alike, blending in among many others under new names, with no ties to the Leaf Village. None noticed the subtle infiltration, and overnight Naruto Uzumaki had planted dozens of eyes and ears throughout the land of fire, while quietly eliminating the one person who had come closest to uncovering his identity, though that person had only glimpsed the shadows Naruto had cast. 4 years later, Land of Fire, Naruto's true age, 21. Alright, let's summarize recent events. Finally absorbed Ashura's power, acquired the Forbidden Scroll, took over Gato's company and accelerated operations in Uzushiagakure and the Land of Water, effectively controlling the Land of Waves, had to rescue Sasuke multiple times, and kept Hinata from killing Sakura more than once. Naruto reflected as he walked down a street in one of the towns behind Jiraiya, both searching for Tsunade. Then, Orochimaru stole my kill on the third Hokage, cursed Sasuke, and now I'm stuck traveling with this degenerative fool searching for Tsunade Senju, who's currently gambling and drinking away her clan's fortune 100 kilometers north of here. Oh, and did I mention this guy keeps stealing my money just to indulge himself? Why did I even agree to come along? Naruto asked himself rhetorically for what felt like the 100th time. Because otherwise it would seem suspicious and out of character for Naruto Uzumaki, known and despised by Konoha, and you've committed to carrying out your plan fully. Gremory reminded him. Besides, you're not exactly short on funds, just bear with him a bit longer. Anko said Sasuke will eventually run to Orochimaru for a power boost, and that's when you'll be able to claim Indra's soul. Could do that now, but it would mean scrapping some other plans, especially one involving the daimyo. That would waste too much time, effort, and resources. Naruto sighed mentally, shooting an annoyed glance at Jiraiya. Go on, leave me to your whores and booze already, you frog-loving degenerate. As if on cue, Jiraiya stopped and turned toward him. All right, kid, I'm off to meet some informants about Tsunade. You can go book a room at that inn over there. Jiraiya said, snatching a wad of cash from Naruto's frog-shaped wallet. And I'll be talkin' this. Hey, stop taking all my money. I worked hard for that cash, and I'm not gonna let some pervy old man blow it all on booze and women. Naruto protested angrily, while Jiraiya made a mocking face. Aren't you supposed to be a rich author? I thought authors were supposed to be loaded. You still have zero respect for my craft. Consider this my fee, not only for putting up with an annoying little brat like you, but for teaching you something useful. Jiraiya said, turning away. So stop whining and bother someone else. With that, Jiraiya entered the nearest tavern, which doubled as a brothel, and Naruto let out a relieved sigh. Seriously, is this guy really one of the legendary shinobi? You'd think he'd show a bit more self-control with his cravings. Naruto thought. Sorry to interrupt, Naruto, but don't you think that sounds a bit hypocritical? Bargus spoke. After all, you're no stranger to carnal pleasures yourself, often with Anko and Hinata, sometimes both at once. Just before you left, you three didn't even leave the house, literally spending nearly an entire day in bed. 1. They're my lovers and I'm loyal to them alone. 2. I don't touch alcohol. And 3. I recall you and Gremory being quite eager to watch the show. Naruto shot back. And eager to join soon, darling. When we do, we'll need a whole week to satisfy ourselves with you. Gremory promised with a knowing tone. Naruto wasn't joking either, so he decided to book a room until Hinata called him mentally. Naruto-kun, sorry to bother you, but there's been a new development in the leaf. Hinata said over their shared link. Itachi Uchiha and Kasame Hashigaki appeared in the village, seemingly looking for you, but were intercepted by Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai, and Might Guy. My sources say Kakashi is in a coma, the Akatsuki escaped, but Sasuke confronted his brother. Tell me, Hinata, did that idiot try to get himself killed again? Naruto was growing annoyed by Sasuke's penchant for trouble. I'm guessing he's alive but incapacitated. Exactly. I know they were heading your way, should Anko and I intercept them? Hinata offered, but Naruto had other plans. Tempting, but I'll handle these two personally. Thanks for letting me know, Naruto replied. I'll have to thank you properly when I return. You always bring me the best gift yourself. But I wouldn't mind a little present up front. Hinata's hint was unmistakable. Sorry, Hinata, I can't have you offing Sakura just yet. Annoying as she is, she's useful for boosting Naruto Uzumaki's Legend of Stupidity. Naruto said, hearing the disappointment in Hinata's voice. But I have a free evening. Why not spend it at that private spring you like? I'll book the whole place just for us. Hinata practically purred in anticipation. I'll be counting every minute, my love, she promised. I'll prepare something special. As for Sakura, you can have her once I'm done with Sasuke. After that, she'll just be dead weight. Naruto assured, then disconnected to pay a visit to 2 Akatsuki members. A few miles south. Looks like we were expected, Itachi. Kasame said, spotting a figure dressed in dark robes with a distinctive black sword at his side and a mask over his eyes, standing in the middle of the road, clearly waiting for them. Doesn't this guy seem familiar? Didn't one of those undead guys mention someone like him? They did, Itachi replied, stepping forward so he could be heard. I take it you mean to block our way, Mao. He addressed the man by the only name known to them. I guessed right, Itachi Uchiha. I'm honored that the Akatsuki have taken notice of someone like me. Mao, or rather Naruto, unknown to Itachi and Kasame, answered. I thought I'd slipped past your notice. Not much slips past us, though you've certainly managed to stay hidden for quite some time, Demon King, Itachi responded, as Kasame stepped forward, flashing his predatory grin. Ah, now it's coming back to me. So this is the Mao, the Demon King, the one said to have fingers in nearly every scheme across this land of fire and beyond. Hell, I've even heard you were the one who ended that bastard Yagura's rule last year, putting an end to the hidden mist's reign. Kasame remarked, his hand inching towards Samehada. Gotta say, I respect that. As a favor, I'll make this quick and painless. He drew his sword from his back, while Naruto stood still without a flicker of movement. You seem pretty confident you can take me on. Not surprising coming from the one who labeled me the monster of the hidden mist, Naruto said calmly. But I have to ask, can you really afford to waste time fighting me now, only to later face Jiraiya of the Sannin, all just to get to the Ninetales Jinchuriki? Not to mention the Leaf's possible pursuit that will come once you make your presence known. I see. Your reputation precedes you, Itachi noted in his typical measured tone. But by showing up in person like this, it seems we've become a hindrance to you, or rather, we're threatening your plans by our very actions. Itachi mused, and Naruto silently gave him credit for the deduction. And your reputation is well-deserved as well, Itachi Uchiha. As you guessed, your presence disrupts a certain matter I'm currently handling, and I would strongly prefer you not interfere, Naruto replied. So you also have interest in the Ninetales Jinchuriki, Itachi inferred. If you know about our organization, then you must be aware of our abilities. I do, and I know your long-term objective is to gather all nine-tailed beasts. Frankly, I don't mind that part, but here's the thing. I need Naruto Uzumaki and Jiraiya left undisturbed by your interference, Naruto explained. That's why I'm standing before you now. Oh, so the kid is more important than we thought if the mysterious Demon King wants him, Kasame chuckled. But here's the catch. Since you want the boy too, we can't just let you take him. Looks like we'll have to settle this here and now. Kasame readied himself to strike, but both he and Itachi froze as a sudden surge of raw, unfiltered bloodlust radiated from Naruto, halting them immediately. If you want to fight, then I welcome you to try. In fact, I'd enjoy blowing off some steam, Naruto said, his hand resting on his blade. But maybe you should ask yourselves, do I feel lucky? Well, do you? Naruto smirked, relishing the looks on their faces. Guh, that guy's got a serious killer instinct. Heck, even the boss doesn't scare me like that, Kasame hissed. What hellspawn did he crawl out of? One forged by man, Naruto replied casually. If I may ask, what exactly are your long-term plans regarding Naruto Uzumaki? Itachi inquired, with the Demon King shrugging lightly. I think we both know what you're really asking, whether I intend to use the Kyuubi inside him, Naruto reworded the question. For now, Genin Naruto Uzumaki serves my purpose, as does the Kyuubi. But by year's end, both will have fulfilled their roles, and then you can take them if you can. I won't stand in your way. Naruto's answer stunned Kasame and Itachi. So, for now, that kid and his companion are doing you a favor, and you want us to leave them alone? Kasame questioned. And what's in it for the Akatsuki? You keep your numbers intact and avoid making me your immediate enemy, Naruto answered. If the Akatsuki's intelligence is as sharp as I've heard, you're aware of how I deal with enemies, regardless of their wealth, influence, or strength. Itachi and Kasame exchanged glances before Itachi spoke. We'll pull back, but only if you answer this. Were you the one who killed Danzo Shimura and dismantled Root Anbu 4 years ago? Itachi asked. Naruto merely smirked. He became an obstacle to my plans, so I eliminated him and his private army, Naruto said. Does the Akatsuki want to share his fate? Itachi got the answer he needed. No. Kasame, let's go. With that, they turned and left Naruto standing alone on the road. Quite wise of them, though I expected a fight, Gremory commented. Though it might have been good to weaken Akatsuki's ranks while possible, given their plan to gather the nine-tailed beasts. Maybe, but ultimately it won't change much, Naruto said. Akatsuki's plans are doomed anyway, because even if I fall, the 9 tails won't be collected. And once I revive you, their days will be numbered. Now, I need to book a spring resort and enjoy some downtime. With that, Naruto went off to handle his personal affairs, while Kasame and Itachi rushed toward their own destination. Honestly, Itachi, I didn't expect you to retreat so soon. Even using your Manjikayo Sharingan earlier, I doubt that guy could have fallen to your Tsukuyomi, Kasame remarked. I did try to trap him, Itachi said, his expression grave. But he wasn't affected, nor did he even react. I suspect his mask grants him some immunity to Genjutsu, while his clothing shields him from my Sharingan's chakra perception. So he came prepared for us. Definitely not someone to underestimate, Kasame agreed. Do you think the boss will accept our failure to capture the 9 tails? Given this was reconnaissance, I'm sure he'll be satisfied with the results. Meeting the Demon King and learning about him makes this mission a success, Itachi said. It's safe to assume Mao's power rivals Orochimaru's, if not surpasses it, and it's unlikely he'll replace Orochimaru. They sped onward. A month and a half later, the day after the Sasuke retrieval mission failed, Konoha, stupid, reckless fool, he couldn't even do what I asked. Sakura shouted angrily after hearing Naruto had failed to bring back Sasuke and had even defected. And to abandon the village, I always knew he was a quitter, she vented loudly on the empty street that evening. Hello, Sakura. Startled, Sakura spun around to see Hinata Hyuga behind her. Oh, thank goodness, it's just you, Hinata, Sakura sighed in relief. Sorry, I was just talking badly about Naruto-kun again, Hinata said, her sweet smile tinged with an unusual boldness that surprised Sakura. I suppose he upset you once more. PFT, you can say that again. That numbskull broke his promises, let Sasuke get away, and then ran off himself because he couldn't face me. Sakura snapped, unaware of Hinata's smile growing wider. He's a worthless waste of space. All that talk about becoming Hokage and keeping promises was just hot air. Well, you're right about the first part, Hinata said with a cold chuckle. And as for the second, why would anyone keep their word to an obnoxious, worthless waste like you? It took Sakura a moment to fully register Hinata's words. What did you just say? And at that moment, Hinata's darkness surged forth, engulfing Sakura as she transformed into her true form, silencing Sakura in horror. Oh Sakura, you have no idea how long I've waited for this moment. You've been such a foul-mouthed banshee toward my Naruto-kun, always ready to shout, hit, and insult him at every turn. Hinata smiled cruelly, gently cupping Sakura's face. You can't imagine how many times I had to stop myself from ending your worthless life, but Naruto needed you, so I endured. But now I can do whatever I want with you. And trust me, Sakura, I'll enjoy every second of your suffering. With a chilling laugh, Hinata and Sakura vanished, Sakura's fate anything but merciful. Thanks to Naruto and Gremory, Hinata's creativity with her powers had grown tremendously. Especially with Sakura as her target, she had the greatest motivation to improve, and she intended to outdo herself.